to fail. Rival Esports playing it safe to start things off, bringing in the Gene. Certainly the heal's going to be quite key here, but the bans being the Pierce, I like that from Zeta. The Nanny, the Mortis, the Kaze, the Bell, the RT on the side of the Zeta division also. Byron and Mina. Now Mina's going to be able to dance forward, having the Byron Hills behind it as well is definitely going to elevate her into a strong, aggressive position.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout bringing in the Mina and the Byron along with it as well. Ruffs, I can't say I would have expected, but going to be able to farm quite a lot of those drops off the Mina, who's going to be coming in aggressive. And then you can power up the Genes, you know, whatever they bring in as the third, to be able to do a bit more. And you want the longevity in Bounty. You got to stay alive. That's literally the aim of the game. So having the extra damage, extra health, it can go a long way in the late game if you do stay alive. But against Zeta Vision, it's going to be really hard to just keep on your feet and not get sent back to spawn so much.
Gus, Carl are two brawlers I'm still looking forward to. We are seeing a great mid brawler, maybe pick up that blue star in mid. Frank coming out of Zeta Division. So it's definitely safe to say that we're not seeing any long-range poke comp from either of those two teams. On the right-hand side with Gene as the healer, and then Ross and Gray that really just support him. Gray, the only aggression they really have. And then Zeta Division, a completely different story. Two aggressive brawlers with a healer in the back. We're going to see a super aggressive playstyle overall from Zeta Division, which isn't too surprising. That's literally their thing.
If you told me coming in today that I'd be seeing Frank in Shooting Star, I would have said, what year is this? Is my time machine quite working? Like, this is not the place, but in the hands of Zeta, with the Byron, most importantly, I'm looking very much towards whoever is playing on that particular brawler because they're going to have their work cut out. But it's going to put Rival Esports in a very tough spot. I mean, the Gene can do chip damage, it's got the pull, but already, look at Tampo, already right in the spawn side with 4 stars. He's already going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's expected when you look at this, right? Like, how much health he has, how little damage the opposing team have. I mean, that was a little bit of a poor super from him, but he just stood in their face and surviving. He got six stars now, and he's still alive. They haven't got the DPS to bring him down. He's like, all right, pull the Byron. I won't have the heals, but I've just destroyed you for like 45 seconds straight.
Literally absolutely disgusting, and I don't really feel so far like Rival Esports have got much of an answer for it. Suzuki is staying on top, and what a double pull! Unreal! What a team wipe! Zeta just absolutely snowballing their way forwards with Frank on Shooting Star. This should not be working in any other year, in any other meta. This would be the most mismatched draft I've ever seen. That's ridiculous. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, just as we were bigging up Rival, saying they've got a big chance in this game, they get squished as quickly as that. All 3 of them going to bunch up on the left-hand side this time, place these sandbags down. And we need to see this Frank getting the heals. And that's going to be Rio Hey surely falling nice and early on, and Shitampo still getting the heals, and Suzuki can just sit quite comfortably behind.
I can see now why Tampo coming into this game was looking so incredibly happy. A nice takedown though, there from Totoro. Batman will fall. Tampo now in a real tough spot between 3. Oh, I just couldn't quite get the heals from Suzuki in time. He will fall, and that puts Rival Esports in the lead by 1 star for the first time.
Yeah, it's a 3-for-3 trade. I don't think he'll be that disappointed about it as long as he can start getting some big plays coming nice and soon. Mina coming around the left-hand side. That's going to be the Gene and the Ruffs both up in the air, and surely should be able to get a kill, but Stampo just knocked back by that Ruffs power-up, and that's still going to be lingering on the floor. Good kill there from the Gene as well, but 11-11 remains the score. Tied in stars, but blue is with Rival.
Yeah, great timing there from Totoro there with that block there. That one Frank hammer hit would have sealed his demise, and that blue star therefore kept out of the grasp of Zeta. Now they're going to push deep back in the spawn. Rie falls. Zeta Division absolutely making this look easy. And as quickly as that, they claim the first set in spectacular fashion with one of the wildest drafts I've ever seen on Shooting Star.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. See, Ark, you can't be wanting that. Like, you actually can't.
I'm kind of sold. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this is a new era for Brawl. I mean, this is what buffies can do to the meta. And, I mean, I got to say, it's going to make teams have to think their way through things. Like, this is just a draft now that you've just got to think through all angles of.
Yeah, but realistically, are you telling me you want to see Shitampo walking in a straight line for 2 minutes straight, being spammed with heals instead of like actual mechanical skill?
Look, all I'm saying is you've got to prepare for this to be a potential reality. We've said coming into today that Frank was one of the best brawlers since Buffy's being introduced into the game. And it just goes to show that even in the most open map in the entirety of Brawl, you've got to bear that in mind. It's still a worthy ban because the pairing of the Byron and the Frank, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, really, really strong. And Mina doing the part as well. 6 kills for her. Went a little bit more under the radar, I feel, because wasn't just getting constantly spammed by the Byron. But Mina definitely doing a good job pinching around the left-hand side, herding them up like sheep, ready for the Frank and Byron to deal with them quite easily. Looks like we're going on to double swoosh. Up next, I'm not even going to say hopefully be different, because it'll probably just be the same run it down that Gemgrab's been all day.
Yeah, Frank, first pick by Rival Esports. Certainly, the bush here going to be quite pivotal to keeping Frank in an aggressive spot if Zeta really want to disrupt that, or if Rival wants to try to step up the Amber now. It is on the cards. If they don't, then I'm sure Zeta will be using it themselves. Shelly, they want to double down, have what is possibly one of the strongest tank counters on their side of the field. They're already playing Frank into the spike, so it's all going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to see the Shelly paired with it, to be fair. 3 Buffy Brawlers picked so far, so it's not like the most far-fetched thing in the world, to be honest with you, but surely they can just go some tank counters with a bit more range and kind of be able to deal with the Shelly along with the Frank at the same time. We'll see what the Zeta Division do go with. I like the Spike as a first, can play the lane, and we've seen it play the mid and Gemgrab as well. So versatile, they can pivot off things if they want to. Mortis still going to come in regardless of the Shelly being there. Surprises me, but he's just going to be targeting anybody but Shelly.
It's a wild time for Brawl, isn't it? When you're looking at a Mortis picked in to a Shelly, a Frank picked in to a Spike. I mean, the rules are just out of the window at the moment. It really is. And that's the power of the Buffy. Let's see what Zeta are feeling for their third and final pick. Trunk is the Spike gem carrier. Trunk going to be going aggressive, or potentially use the Trunk for a gem carrier. It's a possibility. You're going to have faster maneuverability with the help of the ants, so Zeta do have some choices. One thing's for sure, you don't want to have the gems with that Mortis. I mean, I feel like whoever's on that Brawler is likely to run into trouble. But into the Frank, I mean, we've seen already today with Crazy Raccoon, it's a very, very tough thing as a Frank to deal with a Mortis.
Mighty meat treat that'll keep you on your feet.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Do you want a hug?
No.
You feel you look like you're going through it, mate.
No, I'm not hugging you
sure?
on Valentine's Day.
I think this is the perfect day for a hug.
It's not.
It really is.
It's not.
We've hugged before.
We have, unfortunately. But
Wow.
that draft is, on one side, incredible. On the other side, incredibly painful to my eyes. But I feel like also Zeta Division have played into the Shelly quite heavily. Like, they're taking a Trunk and a Mortis into a Shelly. As you said, the rules are being rewritten with the Buffies coming out. This really surprises me. As always, fertilized through the mid here as the gem carrier kind of needs that extra survivability. And yeah, as expected, Mortis didn't really do a lot.
I feel like already, it is just day one, no less, but I feel like this is going to be a year that is going to really cater towards whoever adapts fastest. We've already seen so many upsets today. Zeta Division do look like they are getting off to a good start, though, nonetheless. This entire right side now open is going to definitely prevent where Tampo and Suki can really lurk. Look at this cycling from Tampo onto Ryohei, who's really struggling here. Another super. Heals continuously coming in. But in the meanwhile, it's Totoro. He's really getting Batman a big, big battle in that mid.
Utapin going forwards here and has a hypercharge and a super. Uses the super as well, getting some good shots in. Tampo going forwards, and Spike got killed by Shelly down the bottom. I've just realized that as well. That should be pretty much count for Rival Esports now, as Zeta Division aren't able to do too much and honestly have been making good plays but not getting the kills the entire game, and I don't think that's a skill issue. They just haven't got the DPS to kill these brawlers.
Spider-Man's putting in work. There is still time here with Suzuki, but forced back there by the shell shock. Is there a hot dog as well? There is. There's a lot of survivability available to Rival Esports. It wasn't necessary regardless, as Zeta could not close the gap in time. Definitely a tough ask with the way that Rival were able to just cater the map to their advantage. And like you said, Zeta didn't really have anywhere to go by the end of it.
I mean, also the fact that a Shelly killed a Spike in the backlines too was quite surprising to me. I thought that he was going to be pretty secure in that matchup, you know, get the kill, move up, establish some more ground, which I think he, you know, should be done. They're going to get Mortis gem carrying now by the looks of it. 2 in the middle instantly, and Batman playing around the left-hand side.
What did I literally say coming in? That's one brawler that you don't want to have the gems for. Maybe now it could be a play. They might have to adapt around this situation, allow maybe the Trunk to go on more of an aggressive stance to allow Batman as well to really rival this Shelly. But I feel like this is really defensive maneuvers. This is a plan B moment for Zeta.
Well, plan B doesn't seem to be working either. No. Shelly managed to pick up 2 kills there as well. Suzuki down the right-hand side, trying to make a move around the flank of Rival Esports. Super not really going to be as best as he accidentally hits a wall and ends up going the other way. Super from the spike as well, setting up the Mortis, but a Shelly just lingering there, waiting for the moment to kill it. He gets the kill, but then again, the hot dog comes through.
Big hit from Ryohi, but nothing connected. Batman trying to earn super off the back of this hypercharge prematurely, but it does slow the Frank, and now Tampa will come in, and that's a really aggressive spot. There's no real defensive maneuver here for the Dog, no hot dog available to hand, so they've got to be very cautious on the side of Rival Esports, and it will give Zeta a little bit more breathing room and a little bit more time to control this mid.
Yeah, there's a lot to ask of Batman on the right-hand side here. He's going to have to want to make people low, let the Mortis be able to go in, let the Trunk be able to make the moves. It's going to be really difficult. There's the pullback as well. Shampoo slowed and can't stay in that interaction. There's the super as well. Dog, I think, gets the hot dog at the perfect time here to survive. He will get the Frank, but it's still 8-6, and it's a 2v2, so they can just continuously get these gems.
Batman, really for me, is keeping his team in this question. Now a double slow as well to Toro low, Utopin as well. Has hot dog, has hypercharge. That's a saving grace. And meanwhile, Ryohi is getting absolutely decimated on this right-hand side. That one gem will stop the countdown. Great there from Tampo.
Yeah, really nice. Just worked so hard on bringing him down. And that's 9-9 now. No countdown for Rival Esports this time. Hypercharge going to be used there as well. Tries to get the pullback, but Suzuki going in and surely just getting obliterated. Shitampo will get another and pick up that 10th gem, start the count. Needs to try and dash for this next one, and Batman knows that and tries to open up some room for him. And a lovely hypercharge comes through. Can't get any of those gems, and the countdown remains even. And he's just cycling hot dogs. He can't die.
Batman is going absolutely crazy, popping hypercharge, ensuring the shots that follow do earn him enough to get the supers to land down in time, and then Statampo goes in when everyone is slowed. It's great synergy between Batman there and Statampo, and they're rewarded for it now with a countdown, but Rival Esports will be doing their best to ensure that they can do something around this. The hot dog will bring back then Utopin, trying to force then Zeta into the pocket corner. Is there a takedown? It doesn't look like there is time! Zeta just about hold on. It's neck and neck.
I mean, that is incredible. All members of Zeta doing their bit to keep them in that. Batman's got so much work cut out for him. He's got to hit pretty much every shot. He's got to get every super on them, get the kills, get them low, let Mortis and Trunk go in. Because Mortis and Trunk know they can't go towards a Shelly and a Doug when they're not healthy. Or when they are healthy, sorry. It makes it really difficult for them, but Batman doing so much work.
So much work. He's so scary. Not afraid at all to pop hypercharge, but ensure the shots that he then lands earn him supers that Rival Esports are not seeing and preempting in that regard. Toro's gonna have to go in here, gets a nice connection onto Batman, low HP, but able to survive on as well and continuously tapping here. Great accuracy from Batman there.
Yeah, Suzuki gonna get quite on this right side, but got a little bit of heal off it and got a kill in there as well somehow. Utopin on the right now, and they're actually looking in a worse spot for the first time in this set here, Rival Esports, because they looked in a powerful position regardless of kind of dropping gems here and there in the previous one. Suzuki round the back, trying to make a move on the left here, and he gets a hot dog, and honestly didn't even really need it, but kept him alive regardless.
Well, Rival Esports now starting to settle in a bit more. Zeta looking a little bit flustered together, need to spread out just a touch. Batman there, great shots there onto Ryohi, and just cycling as well. Hot dog will bring then back Utopin, but straight into the hands of the Trunk. The gems to Statampo. And the defensive measure there to Toro, trying his best to earn utility, which he gets. A smash, a shell shock, 134 HP, and Tempo goes down. It could be now Suzuki's chance to be able to maneuver around, keep these gems in their hands. It's not over yet.
I don't think Suzuki could have responded any better of a time there. Great super from Batman here, and that's going to be a pickup as well. Hypercharge ready for Utopin here. Suzuki trying to go left. Can he escape these shots? He's able to survive so far, and they can't bring him down. Somehow, Zeta hold on, and Rival fall another behind.
Absolutely crazy. The drafts require a mad scientist. That is on the hands of Zeta right now. I cannot believe what I am actually witnessing. It's absolutely nuts, and I'm so thoroughly enjoying it.
It is. It is. What a game it is, to be honest, so far. I mean, listen. Ark, I've had my complaints. Right? And we know this.
Are you coming around?
We're well. No. We're well. we're well aware I've had my complaints, and I think my complaints are valid. I want to see a more mechanical Brawl Stars. You know, holding your lanes, making the big plays at the right moments, not just scrappiness everywhere with kind of the more aggressive brawls, but at certain points of that, it was enjoyable.
I am all for the scraps. Give me scraps any day of the week. I mean, it's just, like I said, the rules are kind of out the window at this stage in time. You've got to adapt. You've got to keep trying things out and not getting too comfortable. That is a dangerous place for me for BSC. I think it's great.
I truly enjoyed watching that match, especially Totoro and Utopin doing phenomenal on those two brawlers, but also overall, I really like what I'm seeing. But then there's Zeta Division. As you mentioned, their draft is just truly good today. Is it Memeshi? Is it the players themselves? Probably a mix of both. I feel like their solution today is just always come in with two super aggressive brawlers, add a DPS brawler, and it works out so perfectly. Now, I really liked the dog idea on the right-hand side. I don't know if it was enough damage to truly go up against that Frank.
Yeah, it was a tough thing. I think going back to your original question and point, I feel like for Zeta, they're just adapting on the fly. That's what I'm noticing the most. I mean, Batman there, you could see 676 DPS. He knew that he had to pull his weight more and provide opportunities for his teammates to whittle down the opposition to allow then the Mortis to come in and strike while the iron was hot. I think the Zeta are just communicating really well. And we had a question mark and a reservation how Batman was going to fit in this roster. I think that is proven a massive point here.
Yeah, well, Rico was the first pick then for Rival Esports on what could be their last map of this monthly final if Zeta Division continue this domination. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, they're starting things off going very similar to how they have been in the previous ones. They've got that aggressive stance, they can take another, they can add the DPS, they can add the heals. Rival, they seem to be accounting for it a bit earlier this time. They're taking a bit more DPS that they can manage at further range without it getting too scrappy with the Rico. Really solid brawler at the moment. The Mo's going to go Zeta Division's way, which has a very good goal-scoring capability in Brawl Ball. Just pass forward, super forward, and then you get your super straight back as well. And it allows your teammates to make those connecting passes in overtime as well. So I think that's a great brawler for Zeta Division to have.
Against two aggressive brawlers, once again, Rival Esports needs something to deal with that. Cordelia still open. Otis would be a brawler that I would pick up here. And Zeta Division keeps going with that solution of just bringing in super aggressive brawlers and then adding either a healer or something with a lot of DPS. Meeple is going to come in here with the right gadget choice. He does okay into the aggression that Zeta Division is bringing up against them, but I will double down here. I think they need something like an Otis or a Cordelia's Arc. Otherwise, this is going to be hard.
Yeah, Otis for me would be a really solid shout, but Traps immediately happy, and I can see why. The Mo is so suppressive, and I think we've already seen today just how that's a brawl that kind of escapes the radar a lot of the time. You've got to take it so seriously, especially in Brawl Ball, and can, you know, really, upon an aggressive stance, when you're on the defense, ensure a goal. Meeple, it just seems a very common pick, and I don't mind it, but again, like you say, gadget choice, very influential as to whether they go with the Rage Quit or the Mansions of Meeple, and that's the first time, I believe, seeing Ziggy here today, a brawler which hasn't really kind of found its place so far in the meta. What are your thoughts?
I think for good reason we haven't seen it today, to be honest with you. I think I'm not entirely sold on the brawler as a whole in terms of it having a place in the meta. I think in this matchup, it can be fine, you know. When you're playing against a Meeple, if she's using, you know, the Mansions of Meeple, then you're going to be able to shoot out regardless, you know, not be stuck and kind of partitioned away from the rest of the action. I just don't know if it's the thrower I would pick.
I'm kind of with you in that regard. I feel like it's going to have some suppressive abilities once you're able to earn super, hypercharge especially, but it is a bit passive and very hard to kind of keep things under control when you're being aggressed. But with the Mina on your side, that's going to be somewhat of a helping hand. Let's see now, it's an open door here. Should leave Tampa to be able to walk this in. Doesn't want to feed to Tara too much. Thought better of it. I think there may have been an opportunity there, though, for me.
I thought the same. Yeah. I thought maybe could have even tried shooting it. Because, you know, giving up possession of the ball in that situation is not the worst in the world if you've still got control of the map in general. Ryohei's going to go down here, and now Stampo gets a super, and this might be the opportunity they need to score. Totoro not going to be able to get anything off to stop this, and Yutupin taken down as well as Zeta Division take that first goal, and Rival Esports been pinned in their half of the map for the entirety so far, and Chitampo cycled super there too.
Fantastic storm out from Chitampo and then putting Utopin in a very tight spot in that top right-hand corner. Now with Super, Robo retreat star power will give him additional maneuverability, and that will push back Chitampo even more so. I like that. That was good alleviation from Rival Esports, who've now got the ball. Low HP though, but it's only Suzuki to have to deal with on this goal line. That should be enough taps. The ball in, and Batman couldn't get it in time. Toro scores it, keeps Rival Esports alive in this game.
Yeah, really nice there from Rival. Just cleaned up every single one of the lanes really well and left Suzuki all alone, and he's never going to be able to do much in that situation. Toro again, going to be able to pick up the right-hand side with a little bit of help from Yutupin, but Batman trying to equalize this into a 2v2. Now going forwards, can Suzuki get the ball? It's back into his hands, but the Tara Super stops him, and he just bounces it left of the goal. Chitampo being chased down by that support from beyond, and Batman having to back off. Hypercharge coming out to stop them from being able to evade these shots as well, but the speed of the Rico's doing a good job of it.
Utopin staying alive there on 185 HP. Ridiculous stuff. It really goes to show how good that star power can be if you're able to avoid the shots. And now trying to take this left-hand side start. So Batman coming back into the spawn will have something to say about that. In 25 seconds, these walls will be going down. And then I kind of like Rival Esports' chances.
Yeah, Batman going really aggressive here and times that final shot perfectly. Suzuki just pinned yet again by Yutupin, but the speed maybe also gets him out of the situation. He's going to go down, and that's going to be a team wipe. Just respawning now is Ryohi, who has the hypercharge, but I don't know if he's going to be alive to keep this goal out. Super comes in, he's going to be forced to use it or die. He does go down. Super comes in now, and Totoro with the stun, but he hasn't cleared it far enough, and Suzuki will find the back of the net and put Zeta Division on match point.
Absolutely surgical towards the end there from Zeta. Really nice composure, and is ensuring that all that utility was placed at just the right moment, because honestly I was kind of wondering with just the Tara, could they have just popped hypercharge, ran the ball down the map, but there was a gravity to hand, so I think playing it cautious was the right move. And for me, Rival Esports have not really been in this game thus far. Now past Chitampo, this could be another shot on goal. Just, oh, one off the line. 2v1 now. Utopin should be able to get it just enough clear to allow Ryohi to come back off the spawn, but that was a close call.
Yeah, Batman just going to play the ball to the middle here, keep in control of it. Considering they've got control of the map at the moment and enough time for Chitampo to come back up and pinch as well, it's going to be huge. Here's the Ziggy Super as well. It's opened up so many avenues for them, and a great gadget on the right-hand side, sorry, by Batman. This might be a goal here as well with Ziggy shots coming over the top. The shots now from Suzuki will find the Super, and that allows him to take the ball. Still, one goal required to take the entire series, and Rival Esports backs against the wall, leading an entire reverse sweep now. And Chitampo, I doubted this brawler, but it's been working.
It's going to be a tough ask here for Rival Esports, but we have seen crazy things already today. Wouldn't it be poetic to see just one more reverse sweep? Ryohi has got gravity, Batman low, and now he's been doing his very best to continue to delay the onset. But it is just one goal lead from Zeta. And they've got all the time in the world.
Oh, Ryohi's really not enjoying this matchup, is he? He's just getting pinned again and again and again, and another super available from Chitampo. Always seems to have a similar angle towards the goal, pushing them towards the other side of the map. Oh, what a connection that is as well. It shouldn't be too far off. Another one now, and he can keep this situation like this. Suzuki's going to be able to go forward. There's the hypercharge, and they don't even need it. Zeta put the nail in the coffin of Rival Esports and push themselves to the final.
Unreal from Zeta. And again, putting to bed questions of the roster, questions of their 2025 performance leading into this season. They are looking stronger than ever. And again, with the help of Meshi, their drafts are looking dangerous.
And they looked like they had so much fun doing it as well. Chitampo on that first map, Shooting Star on the Frank, just having a field day. Mortis just the same on Double Swoosh afterwards. And since it's Valentine's Day, I would love to play some Frank today. Trev, do you want to be my Byron?
No.
I shouldn't have asked Trev. I think he's not really buying into all of that Valentine's Day talk. But yeah, it really looked like they had a lot of fun. On the other side though, Rival Esports had such a great showing. It has been one of those teams where we truly did not know where they would be standing. coming into today. But honestly, Totoro and Utopin, I love what we've seen from them. Utopin on that Rico, an absolute menace.
Yeah, and it's hard not to love what they brought to the table today, especially when you look back to that quarterfinals and how we expected things to go. Again, our predictions are completely in the mud. You know, your first real appearance in a BSC, they can be so immensely proud of themselves, can't they? I mean, they really, really can. It was always going to be a massive, massive ask to see them go to a grand finals position here today. I think they can still really hold their heads high and really looking forward to seeing more from them this season.
And we talked a lot about those buffy brawlers, how strong they are in the current meta. We've seen a lot of Spike so far, a brawler Kenny has mentioned quite often. Frank has been the brawler though right now, Frank and Mortis both. Frank has been the first pick in both the first and second set, and now he has been banned out on this third set as well. Is he going to be that best brawler in the meta right now, Trev?
I mean, if you're looking at this, you kind of sold on it, right? Regardless of Rio Hay picking up here and losing, it did its part, it did well. They got more kills, they just weren't able to hold on to the gems in certain situations. You know, we've been seeing a lot of Spike as well, and I think it's a more versatile, kind of more safe pick, but people are picking up Frank and having great results, to be honest, as well. And although I don't like the scrappier style of Brawl Stars, you can't deny that Frank has been the star man so far.
Killjoy.
I truly like the Frank, the Mortis, all of those buffy brawlers coming in. I really like the Rico just now as well. We'll see which other brawlers that might not even have a showing yet will have a showing later on. Talking about results, let's have another look at our predictions.
Do we have to, really?
I don't want to. I'm told we have to, so let's just do that now. And looking at the semi-final predictions, I actually... Yeah. We're going to talk about that when we see. First, let's head into our quarterfinal predictions that are in shambles. They really had to bring up that graphic yet again. Can we just skip that and go over to semifinals, please?
Is 1 out of 4 really that bad?
Yes, it's terrible.
Is it?
Thank you. That's what I wanted to talk about. Take the
That's not much better.
The clear winner. The clear winner for us for the semi-final number 1. Semi-final number 2, I'm gonna stick with WWL. They truly gave us, the show of the year so far. It's the first monthly final, but still, it was phenomenal.
You found a forfeit, Sonny?
No? I think WWL is gonna take that one. You gotta believe in the underdogs.
At least it's a competition of Brawl Stars and not who can create like the least imaginative name ever, because WWL and ABC, they're really not cutting it, are they?
It's a little bit restricted, to be fair, but I mean, a massive amount of talent on both sides. I mean, names aside, the talent speaks for itself, and you know, especially for WWL, I gotta say, looking at the performances last year and the rosters that they were on, they never really shone throughout those quarterfinals. It wasn't really a thing. So now they're going to be really put to the test.
First time ever having a Korean team in the semi-finals. I think that's a huge moment for them. And now they, of course, want to bring it all the way to the grand finals. And Trav, yes, maybe the names aren't the most imaginative. The teams are, though. As you said, it's a wild mix of players that have been in the scene for quite some time, mixed with players that we're seeing for the very first time. And at least you don't have to cast the double Milk Rayo anymore, right?
Yeah, how long till we get that changed? That was quite painful. I was like, Milk Rayo's popping off on more brawlers than one. Yeah, it was a little bit stressful, I won't lie to you. Yeah, it's going to be a huge matchup, this one. Both of them really wanting to get points on the board early, because, listen, Ark's called me a Killjoy, and I'm about to be a Killjoy again. I'm not sure if I can... All right, calm down. I'm not sure if I can see either of these two teams, possibly even throughout the entire year, making a grand final again. So they need to get the points on the board whilst they're available. Both of these teams, I'm going to argue it's 50-50 in this matchup. They're going to want these points early on in the year, because they might get semis, but I don't know if they'll get to the grand finals again.
I feel for me, like, it's such an early stage to really say for sure anything at this stage. I mean, we are just literally witnessing the world champions of 2025 exiting at the first hurdle of 2026. That's the reality that we're living in right now. As far as I'm concerned, anything is possible for me, for ABC. I just feel like they've just got a little bit more of an edge in terms of the experience and the credentials behind this roster. A champion's a two-time world champion. Kenji, runner-up in 2021. I mean, people forget that. Kenji has got a great amount of experience on that world stage and was this close to lifting a trophy himself.
I think they've already proven that they do indeed still have what it takes, not only to make it into the semis. ABC might very well go into the grand finals. Again, I'm rooting for WWL, but realistically, does any of those two teams have what it takes to beat Zeta Division today?
I honestly hope they do, because I would love more upsets. I would love for one of these teams to go and win the first monthly final when we've all predicted them out in the quarterfinals. For every team in this lower bracket, we were like, they're going out pretty convincingly in the quarterfinals. So if they were to go and beat, have an incredible run, beating Crazy Raccoon or Reject, and then going and beating Zeta as well, that really would put in my mind that this region has, swapped up who's top dogs and who can go and do well this year. I think at the moment it's just a little bit of a hiccup from the bigger teams until we see them, beat multiple of them in a row.
Exactly, that's the question. Is it just a hiccup from Crazy Raccoon and Reject today, or is it actually that those upcoming teams, that those lower four teams, as we talked about in East Asia, are just getting better and better, and now they caught up with the others?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, either way, though, what a fantastic message to send to the up-and-comers. It really is that, for me, that really encapsulates how today has gone. And that's the best part about Brawl Esports. It's that inclusive, that anyone could come in and knock out the world champions. That's the world that we are living in right now, and I'm all for it.
So yes, exactly. The message is, if you want to play in a monthly qualifier, you better pick up two friends and do so, because you might as well go into a monthly final. You might as well walk through the quarterfinals, land in the semis, and we would love to have you. The huge question is why this is even happening in East Asia at the moment. Why those bottom four teams all of a sudden seem to have caught up with the top. Is it the current meta? Is it the buffies maybe that brings in some unpredictability into the whole thing?
Well, our main question about Crazy Raccoon was how fast are they going to be able to adapt to this new meta? And I think quite evidently a few of these teams just haven't tried to at all. And buffies, don't get me wrong, regardless of if they knew the meta or not, buffies throw in an extra kind of element that can make it a bit more up in the air as to who's going to be able to win it. You might love it, you might love the scrappy Brawl Stars, but there's no denying that in a mechanic-to-mechanic matchup, Crazy Raccoon make it to the finals against Zeta Division. But these more scrappy brawlers, scrappy drafts, and that's part of esports as well, that's part of the game. They're throwing a spanner in the works and changing things up. So I hope that these big teams can adapt just like these newer teams have done. But I feel like coming off the back of 2025, they're just so confident in themselves, and they've won, a load of money, they've won the World Championships, they've won bragging rights. They're like, we're the best team in the world. Why do we need to kind of go and change metas and scrim to be able to beat a team who we should be beating?
Semi-final number one already done, because we had some of the quickest matches, especially in Shooting Star, we've ever seen. Now we want to have a little bit of a more stretched out semi-final number two. I'm hoping for a 3-2, and we're starting things out on Bells Rock. Or not. Safe Zone is going to be our first map. I think, yeah, doesn't matter. Colt is going to be our first pick here. Definitely another one of those super strong brawlers ever since Buffies came to the game. And we don't see Colt too often. He's not as picked up as often as a Spike or a Mortis, Frank, but he's going to be super good on Heist. He always was. Ember on the other side, also just a huge damage dealer. And now they are coming in with someone that will slow down this race a little bit. Pierce just there to pick off anyone who wants to come too close to safe.
We were saying in rehearsals yesterday, or at least I was, that I really feel like Colt has massively got a place, especially since the Buffy, but it is going to be kind of limited mainly to Heist. But now that Colt has had that ability to have more of an edge, to be able to slow your opposition, to land more shots, to have more bullets available, it makes him so dangerous. It really, really does. And in Heist, that safe will be absolutely shredded. There's another brawler which will do just that, combining to this on the side of ABC. The Pierce, the Amber, I like it, but what ABC are cooking is much more than my taste.
Yeah, they're going for some serious, DPS from the Colt at range. Carl can get up close, and they've got the mobility as well. That's the thing. You're more than likely going to be bringing in Flying Hook, able to go across that water, put yourself in a more aggressive position, open the map for your teammates, and Colt can, absolutely shred the safe and deal so much damage. They're going to go with the Kaze as their third and final, so it's a definite aggressive mobility route that they're going to go for. The Fan Storm on safe can do good damage, open it up for the Colt. So I really like this composition. Cordelius over the other side clearly being a targeted pick towards that Kaze.
I feel like the splitting up the safe into having 3 shields now helped the meta on Heist a little bit, that you can't just rush safe, but I still feel like you just want to have quick damage onto safe. And if you look at those 2 comms, ABC's comms does that quite effectively, whereas WWL is looking to defend mostly. All 3 brawlers usually used for the defense. Maybe the Ember can go to refund, but Cordelius definitely just stays in the back. Personally, I think ABC is gonna win because of that.
Let's see how it unfolds. I'm kind of on the fence a little bit regarding the Cordelius. I mean, if it gets some value, then great. I think that it will be quite good both into the Carl and the Kaze. But now Kenji getting some nice amber damage on the safe, and this Nene who's going to be actually on the safe. So chipping away gradually. In the meanwhile, kind of more worried on the other side of the field.
Yeah, well, they start off with a pretty strong base race, but he was dealt with fast there, the Colt and Carl as well. So wall breaks coming through. Don't want the Cordelius to have this positioning to be able to just sit in the bottom area of the map. The Pierce Soup coming through, and Carl will connect with it as well. And Cordelius round him and dealt with him fast. Percentage-wise, not masses apart. I'd have expected WWL to do more from that.
Yeah, some good Pierce shots now. On the right-hand side, the quick demise of the Kaze. And everyone from WWL just still staying together as a unit. A nice connection there as well from Nene, forcing Kenji into the realm, and the chappy's low himself. When he comes out, he might fall very swiftly, and surely will here. Missed shots, bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing no Flying Hook as well, which I thought was pretty much a given on this map when you need the mobility. That's going to be a burn down, though, and this should be the next crack the safe done, and it is. Still 70% on the WWL side. ABC got a lot of work to do. Here's the Fan Storm, but he gets taken into the realm, wins that matchup, and evades the Pierce follow-up shots.
Yeah, very, very tight rooms here as now Kenji and the Sheppy forcing their way forwards, but they've got to make the most of this opportunity, and that is not going to be enough. Hypercharge now for Nene as well, and then the Kaze just completely taken out of the mix. Kenji trying his best to get some amber burn, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, this is going to be game to WWL here, starting really strong as ABC just weren't in it at all. Started pretty decent, didn't get too much damage on the safe. I think they risked an unnecessary base race early on as well and were dealt with so swiftly.
Definitely feel like for ABC, just need to slow down the pace a touch. Up the aggression, but make it more calculated. At the moment, it's a bit sporadic and a bit all over the place. Let's see, on the left-hand side, that's Icy pushing himself forwards, trying to get behind enemy lines and make some space for his teammates to push through. The Chappy can clear that right side, which he does, and allow Kenji some space as well. All 3 members now from ABC right together when it matters most.
Yeah, well, a lot more calm, a lot more composed is a good sign here then. And he uses a silver bullet to just be able to pierce through Mamameshi there and get that first crack done. For the control though, 26% damage really didn't cut it for me.
Yeah, they've been able to crack, and that's important to be able to ensure damage and not waste time. Kenji has got hypercharge as well. Might choose to just go straight for the Eye of the Storm down the map there. Chappy going to be dancing in this mid here with, I believe, Cookie. Now, damage being dealt on the ABC safe.
Yeah, needs to get this 50%. He does. Might even be able to get Mins on here in the back line, sorry. As he just narrowly survives. Nene not able to get too much done being so low here, and he does break up a little bit more of that map as well. Minzun can still win this here against the Colt, and he does with that slow. Only about 27% in it at the moment. Mamameshi having to defend. Kenji getting burnt and forcing himself down the left-hand side, but the heat ejector onto safe will deal some long-lasting damage.
Yeah, that's quite crucial. Meanwhile, though, there will be a countermeasure attack coming in from WWL. Now it's just Kenji. There's a safe crack there for sure. Nene is not done yet, staying firm, but Kenji gets the final say. Pierce shots onto the safe as well, though. But meanwhile, this should be a good defense here with the last little bit amber burn. Yeah, that'll be Icy going down.
Yeah, well, I don't think he minds that, to be fair. And Amber Burn, when he's so low, is a fine thing. Now he doesn't have it going up, and we'll need to start from scratch to get this hypercharge. Good jump from Nene. They're narrowly avoiding that. And to be fair, Kaze going straight towards Amber probably wouldn't be the smartest thing in the world at the moment. Don't want to feed that super when he's got a hypercharge. Now the hypercharge from the Colt might be the nail in the coffin here, but a good super from Pierce will keep him back for now. Kenji coming forwards too, needs to earn a super to be able to make use of this hypercharge that he's popped, and doesn't get it anywhere.
15% left on the WWL safe, but now their teammates collecting in the middle of the map, trying to ensure that no one can escape through, but Kenji might be the man to do just that with a lovely burn that right-hand side, and a follow-up there as well, pushing his way forwards, trying to keep the aggression on, but there's not going to be enough time here for WWL. Anyway, that safe needs to be cracked. That takes time, a time away from them. We'll be all tied up now in this first set. It's anyone's for the taking.
Much better and way better managed there from the side of ABC. Really solid stuff, I thought. They didn't kind of go out the blocks, fly in and, you know, do unnecessary trades, feed a lot of defensive supers, let the cord go. They just got the kills, kept control of the start, and then had a damage lead that was irreversible by WWL.
Already, Icy on the left-hand side, making a break with this Kaze pick. And forced back by Cookie there. And actually gets the kill off the back of it as well. Minzun in the mid, trying to tap these shots, gain something of the controlling factor. Both sides now learning from their mistakes. It seems really slowing down the pace and looking to tap these shots. Really Icy struggling on that left.
Yeah, he is not getting anything done, and Kenji should fall here as well. Mameshi just about surviving that matchup with 1,200. Fanstorm comes down, and that should be a big thing for IC to be able to get up. Mameshi actually walks out of it and takes some damage. Now dashing forwards, and he still doesn't get it done. Kenji going in, can't get the kill either, and they're all one shot, but nobody's getting the kills.
And Chappie finds one. Oh, a nice silver bullet. He finds two as well. Can he get the third as well for good measure? Chooses to go for the safe. I don't mind that choice at all, as now his teammates are getting some good damage, but the safe not cracked yet. Left on 76%, and a good defense nonetheless from WWL.
Yeah, that 1% might just change the tide of this matchup. They need to get that crack down to be able to get any more damage on it. Nene coming forwards, gets the super off and the jump over the water as well, but honestly doesn't find too much back from it and leaves his teammates susceptible. It's going to be a Charpe versus Minzun in the mid here as well, and that's a matchup that Carl should win and does. But some good shots, and there's 1% in it.
Yeah, nice amplified shots there from the Pierce. Collecting these shells, trying to keep back ABC. Hypercharge there from a Chappie. Decent connections, but it should be finished a bit swifter. He now finally does so, and that's safe. Most importantly, now cracked. That will give a little bit of grace, but it's only 2% in this. It can change very quickly, and that's going to break the safe from the outside as well, and it gives just a little lead as well to WWL.
Yeah, lovely kills from a Charpe, though, I will say. Kaze moving forwards, Fanstorm forwards, and honestly, I think like he could have clipped the safe with that one a little bit as well. Kenji coming forwards, doing a great job on both of them now on the left-hand side. 27 seconds left, and they're going all out for damage, and Nene's trying to do the same.
Kaze on the safe is a dangerous thing. Another safe crack, and it's Chappie with a valuable defense. It will buy some time. He's got a super as well, but he is slowed on that right-hand side. Pierce doing his best there to get continuous taps, but Kenji comes in. Huge aggression from ABC. And Chappie alone, but they should be able to get this safe down. I don't think he can do it all alone, and it should be ABC that take the set in a fantastic turnaround.
Much better from both teams there, looking really good in that third one. It was more calm, more composed, but ABC just seemed to kind of get the damage when necessary. I thought that 1% left on the safe from 76 to 75 might have changed it a little bit, but then the WWL had the same thing with 77% on the same side, had to waste supers and stuff to try and get that down. So a very well-balanced game, back and forward all the way through, and this could very well be a 5-set series.
It's very close. It really is. I did feel like, especially with the way that we kicked off that first set, that WWL had a bit more of a composed stance. You know, they really did. The core thing was working out really well, and that's what I kind of noticed be diminished slightly towards the later stages. Nene was not getting as nearly much value in games 2 and 3 as he was in game number 1, and that's a bit of credit to ABC to be able to evade around him, communicate as to who's best to take care of him, keeping a Chappie on him more often than not. But a very, very close one. I do feel like you're right. This could be one that goes all the way.
Yeah, it really does seem that. Look how many kills there are from that side. Mameshi with 26, Nene with 9, and Minzun with 14. And then the other side just aren't getting kills, but they're getting loads of damage on safe. And then he did a good job, 86,000 damage on safe, that's great. But his teammates couldn't quite do the same amount. And I mean, especially with this amount of kills, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is a disgusting Amber game. Absolutely disgusting. But again, objective is where things matter. If the safe is not being cracked, you know, it's just going to go against you. It's not a game of kills in Heist. It's all a game of cracking the safe, getting that percentage down and lowered. And at the moment, ABC were able to really amend things accordingly and make it count. But I think this is probably the most closely sided first set I've seen today. What we'd love to expect to see from a semi-finals also. So I'm quite excited for what's next.
Yeah, it should be a good series. This one, that was extremely well balanced. Two good comps getting good damage on the safe, playing defensively, playing offensively. That's how it should be played. And yeah, just all-round great plays in two very evenly matched teams. The next sets to come, got to see kind of similar level of drafts, because I thought both two drafts were pretty decent, to be fair, but we're going to take a different approach on things this time. We're not going to be seeing Ambers with 26 kills, because we're going into knockout. So a lot more slow, a lot more calm, probably will be the meta.
Well, we said going into shooting star that it was going to be sharp.
Yeah, but
what happened there? What happened there?
What I'm saying is there's not going to be a 26-kill Amber. And I'm seeing a Byron, so I'm probably leaning towards the fact that it's not going to be a long-range matchup. But, you know.
Pairs well with Frank, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it really does.
Brawler which is not banned.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And listen, I'm not even gonna try and oppose you, because that's likely what they'll go for. And then I'll just look stupid.
I mean, you already do. Yeah. Let's see what the first pick is from ABC. I do like the Rico ban, though. I think that's quite a wise spike first pick. It's just always been a very safe pair of hands as a brawler, and has pretty much always been viable, no matter how strong he's been in the meta. Now with the Buffy, very much more in the forefront. And Ollie, a great pairing. First time that we've really kind of seen Ollie, and I think it's the right map and mode for it.
Yeah, he's had his showings here quite frequently in the past. A lot of monthly finals last year, and the postseason popped up a few times on this map as well. So, not surprising to see Ollie come rolling on in. Considering he's got a fairly small amount of damage, though, yes, his Hypnotizer is going to be good to be able to get them towards his teammates who do. But if they were to go something with this Byron, like a Frank, Ollie's not going to be able to deal that much damage to it.
Yeah, exactly. Cool do this as well. We'll take Ollie out of the equation. Certainly that will disrupt the Hypnosis as well. I'm looking really towards WWL there to land that at just the right time. Timing is going to be so key here with that Cordelius versus Ollie matchup. Now, do they risk it on the side of WWL?
Mom never misses.
No, playing it safe with the Bell. I don't necessarily mind it. It's not as flashy, for sure. Marking up the Ollie is going to be quite crucial. A tank is something which you've got to really place a heavy consideration on. So now over to ABC for the final pick.
Yeah, we'll see what they do choose to go with. They did account heavily with this Cordelius for the Ollie, so I don't think they needed another kind of tank counter. But I was surprised to see them not go one themselves to pair with the Byron, but obviously Byron able to do damage on his own and kind of fend for himself at range as well, so I don't mind that either. Gus going to come in as well. Honestly, I haven't seen this too much.
Surprising,
which surprises me.
Yeah.
He's been a very good brawler for a very good amount of months now.
Yeah, solid and good, great pairing. I mean, the Gus Ollie, I mean, what's not to love? Yeah. You know, it's always been the perfect pairing, but it's the Cordelius that still worries me. If you're using your Gus shielding, placing it to Ollie, Ollie goes to the Cordelius and then pushed into the realm, that's a lot of utility just completely wasted by that one singular brawler. So that's my reservation there. And if ABC can work around that, then all the more power to them. If they can maybe isolate the Cordelius and deal with him first, that might be a helping hand. But certainly, Ollie and Bell, Ollie and Gus, it's always been dangerous.
Absolutely. Well, ranged matchup. Pretty much down both lanes, but mostly on this left. Cookie on the right should be able to do a good job against the spike, but he's getting curveball down at the moment in the life plan, giving him a lifeline in the back side of things here. Ollie going to rotate to the right-hand side as Kenji wants that matchup, but doubling down in the mid, and it's just constant rotations at the moment, trying to enforce this Cordelius versus Ollie.
The tap there from Cookie in the mid on the Spyron pick, as there is a super to hand on the spike of IC on the right-hand side, and landing that at just the right time is going to be crucial. Life plant handed out, and heals handed over. to Kenji. The champion just holding himself on his left-hand side. Both sides not giving an inch.
Well, the only super to be seen so far is that of IC with the spike. It can go a long way to close off avenues that they will want open in these later stages. Doesn't want to use it on the court though, because he knows that he's going to get realmed as soon as he does. There's a good kill though for Kenji, and Cookie here on the Byron trying to get the job done, but it's going to be 3 survivors on the side of ABC and 0 for WWL. What a move that was from them. Perfectly timed and dealt with very well.
Nicely done. But still, I feel it's quite balanced. This Bell pick can work really nicely between the spike and the life plant, but off the back of those hills will be aggression. Nice realm from Nene, but down to 100 HP. He's got to be cautious here. Playing with fire, really. As he comes out, he's got to be able to heal up. Kenji now going into the aggressive position. No mark there on that right-hand side from Minzun, so it keeps the Oli at play. Dangerous. Hypercharge now on the spike. IC getting some taps. Could have got a few more, but does secure the kill nonetheless, making it a 3 versus 2.
Yeah, Minzun just couldn't run away there. I arguably thought off the start the spike had misplaced the super, but just stopped his retreat. Kenji going in, jumps over towards Cookie now. Doesn't actually get the hypnotize. Just really unfortunate for him, and that could have changed the tides of it. Byron will just be able to heal up now, and I don't think they'll lose this 2v1. It's possible, because Spike can do so much burst damage, and he has a super here actually as well, but the Cordelia is just going to run him down to stop the Byron from getting beaten. And this should be tied up as he goes straight into the smoke to stop the Byron from getting a super.
Really surprised, you know, to see the Byron come out on top against the Oli there, to be honest. I thought that that wasn't the worst of decisions, you know, made by ABC. It seemed like it was pretty calculated to me, so credit to WWL here. Hypercharge though for a Chappie. That can change things on this top left. Will he combine it with Kenji, who's not got the hypnotize just yet? Needs to be able to earn that and really make use of that utility. Bit of a missed reverse polarity gadget there from the Bell, and these shots are going to ricochet between, Kenji and IC. They've got to be cautious now for ABC because they're dwindling down low.
Yeah, Minzun's going to be looking to hypercharge towards Kenji here, the most aggressive brawler on the ABC side. Good heals provided here by the Byron, as Nene's going to want to realm Kenji as well as the prime target for a couple of members of WWL now, and Gus pinned back, but going to have that option to kind of burst out with the hypercharge and the super as well. Still waiting on a life plant here, some good connections, and Kenji can't retreat as he's just going to be getting those shots onto the spike. Jump comes in now and Kenji's going to fall. Can they get the refrag though as IC gets some good shots? Now follow up, and it's going to be a 2v1 for Gus, and Cordelius and Bell should be able to take this one down. A Chappie eating everything that they've got, and I don't think this is going to be possible for him. They kind of just bait him into the gas, and that's a good win there for WWL.
Yeah, Minzun there, I'm really impressed with how well and how patient he was with that Bell pick. That's really what sealed the demise of the Oli and gave his teammates the advantage there. You've got to land those moments. Bell doesn't necessarily pack the biggest of punches, so having that mark and ensuring it and not wasting it, that was key, crucial. Now, WWL with a real chance here of taking a set. They can keep this up. ABC, though, did show great signs of adapting in the previous set, so let's see how they respond.
Yeah, we can see that ABC have tried to rotate lanes, but it's just constant following from WWL, and that's going to be a good kill there as well. Won't be able to refrag, might be able to get the pinch now. There were some wonderful heals yet again from the Byron onto Nene, and a Chappie can't do a lot about that. For how well they started in that first round, it's been night and day, really.
Yeah, imagine the sharpshooters prevailing, Trav.
Hey, there's sharpshooters, just top-tier brawlers, I can't lie to you, but it's not like the other side don't have them as well. Like, they've got the Gus who's, just trying to force a matchup that he's not being given, and he's having a real hard time. Yeah,
I see he's struggling massively. Another mark placed onto a Chappie. Nene just jumping over the wall, not afraid at all of the Gus shielding, and rightly so, stays alive. And now in a 2 versus 1, IC on this spike. Can't really do too much. Let's see whether he can bring some goods with this Buffy brawler to the table. I feel like now it's just a question of not feeding, go to the gas, save it, and just try to bring back and reverse sweep this set. That's all ABC have got now.
It's going to be so tough to get this done because no matter what ABC try, WWL have got an answer. So to be in this position, got to be so hard for them. They're trying Spike down the mid now and having Kenji just run it down one of the lanes, but Cordelius will just follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah, exactly that, and you can see already the shadowing of WWL is absolutely on point. Nice jump away. That could be a nice super there, just to kind of give some better positioning. Not going to do too much to their opposition, but give a bit of a stronghold for ABC. Kenji jumping away. still holding back this aggression. But as time goes on, if ABC can hold this mid, the gas will force the hand of WWL.
Well, it was a good jump from Kenji, evaded the super of Nene there as well, so he's not going to have any of that because he can't seem to get this radius within range of Kenji either without putting himself at risk of being supered on. Spike going down the right-hand side. Doesn't mind kind of a 2v2 in that situation because the curveballs will be flying when there's two there.
Now comes a preemptive hypercharge from IC. Not going to get anything off the super back though. That's a bit of a waste and actually goes down himself. A 2 versus 3. It's going against ABC now. As WWL really are putting on a great showing in this second set. Double hypnotize though from Kenji. Can't seal it. And that will be the set. WWL answer back.
Pretty much the perfect answer to what we saw from ABC off the start. They take the first set, the first round, so convincing. 3 members alive, 0 members of WWL. But then it just goes completely the other way, and we barely see ABC getting any kills at all. They're being followed across the map to not be able to get those desired matchups, and I think it's really well played by WWL there.
This is what we love to see from the semi-finals, back and forth. It's been the closest match that I've personally felt today so far. One that deserves to go the distance and really come down to the mechanics the way it should be. And all tied up as we go into our third set. And the draft's pretty much on point for me. Gameplay as well. It's really just coming down to the adaptations, the small microcosms along the way.
I'm gonna stick with them though. I still feel like WWL can turn things around here. They did have to make it a reverse sweep before. That's exactly what they need now again, Trev.
Yeah, I mean, it's strong plays, really. It is such a close game, and 4-4 and 4, 4-3 and 1. Like, obviously, it's a kill game, right? So the team with the more kills usually in knockout at least gets the wins, unless you kind of get a load in a round that you lose. But it's just not enough. IC couldn't really enforce the matchup against the Cordelias. They were just following people around. Kenji had his moments, but I don't feel like the Ollie pick was really warranted so early on. I feel like they could have definitely gone something a little bit more versatile because he was just the one being bullied by everyone.
Just looking at the picks so far, Ark, you feel like the set that WWL took, was that solely the draft, or what was it? Why did they start to turn things around?
Playing to their strength is kind of how I felt. You know, they just were able to really utilize the Bell, most importantly, a brawler which in this meta, as we've already spoken about, tough to make work. You know, it's really not that kind of flashy brawler. It's not the assassination brawler. The taps take time to really land the punch, and having that mark was crucial. So the timing for Cookie there, I think, as well. Again, we kind of almost forget a player that last year we saw in Genji. He's never made a semi-finals before. Like, this roster in itself is really, really excelling for me at this stage of the competition because they've never been here before, really. So making good decisions and staying calm under pressure because, again, this spot is not familiar territory.
Let's still say, though, ABC, a phenomenal roster. I feel like ABC means they're still FA, so you better go and pick those guys up if you don't have a roster on your own yet. ABC looking mighty strong. Personally, I'm rooting for WWL just so I can rub it in afterwards that at least I got one prediction right today compared to you.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal for us, I won't lie. I'm heavily rooting for ABC here just so you can't do that. And I won't even rub it in because I'm humble. I'm
Did you not put the word humble in the sentence?
When it comes to predictions, that's what I am. I pride myself in being humble. I'd never flex anything like that.
I've never heard so much coswallop in all my life. What are you talking about, you being humble? You're the first to put a medal on your own.
No, that's not true. I'd never do that.
We're on Pinhole Punt now at the third map here. Frank, Rico, and Meeple are going to be banned out by the side of ABC. All 3 of those brawlers we have seen on Brawl Ball today. So definitely makes a lot of sense to ban those out. Especially if you have the first pick, you can decide the pace of this whole round. They already go in with a tank counter. Here banning out the Frank. So I don't really feel like WWL have many options here. They're going to go with Mina anyway, despite the tank counter on the other side. So ABC was trying to prevent that, but obviously didn't work out here, Ark. Mina, is that a bit too risky, or will it work out just fine?
It will work out just fine. That's just how I
There
see
you go.
Mina right now. I mean, maybe not, but certainly, I mean, if you're playing into the Otis, it's not going to be easy. That's safe to say. But a nicely timed windmill gadget, at just the right pinnacle moment to block that mute, it's definitely on the card here. But I think just the maneuverability. Mina is that brawler that very much for me now is escaping a lot of the bans. It's a first pick worthy brawler, and despite the buffies, really being the shining star at the moment in terms of meta, Mina is just that little bit beneath, allowing her to be more accessible more often than not.
sounds.
Well, Poco coming in for ABC here to go along with their Otis. I don't know if they're just taking that away from the opposing side or if they're going to go something super aggressive now, because it's not like WWL have, heavily accounted for something tanky, something aggressive like ABC have. They've already got that Otis, so then if WWL goes something and double down, then they're still going to be okay. But we'll see if that's the case or if they're just taking Poco off their opponents.
The 4 most picked brawlers on this map in scrims have been Poco, Otis, Frank, and Meeple. And all 4 of these have either been picked or banned out by ABC, so they definitely did their homework on what could be good in the meta. Here, Kenji, on the other side, we haven't seen in a very long time. I feel like we haven't seen him at all today just yet. Coming in as the aggressor from the side of ABC. Can he hold up against Amina? I'm wondering. He does have a Poco in the back, so that's certainly going to help him. They have no range, though, whatsoever on the side of ABC.
I feel like it's going to be tough. I really like this Mo pick here from WWL. It's just very much... I think the win rate today is so high in Brawl Ball for this brawler pick. It just keeps the pressure on time and time again. And, when you're pushed up against the wall and the Mo is chipping away, it's a matter of time before you can't hold firm any longer. It's going to avail to a goal no matter what. So I kind of prefer it to this Kenji. I mean, the Kenji can really be aggressive, dance around these walls, block shots and not feed, then it's going to have a great time of things. But Kenji, that Mo interaction, I mean, already, he's sped a lot over, and we've barely just started.
He did get the kill, though. I mean, that's better than feeding and not getting the kill. He's getting a lot of kills, actually, and Kenji going to be able to slot that one home. It seems like so far, so good for the Kenji here. Kenji on Kenji. And honestly, he didn't even really need heals. He did it alone.
Well, Kenji on Kenji has just fed the Mo.
Yeah, and died.
Now and died. So that may be a bit of a hole in the strat, but I like the mentality though, for sure, from ABC. Just really, really push aggressively, quickly, trying to get things over fast. Nice there as well. Connections there to Cookie, who's playing on that Finks pick in the mid. Low HP, has to heal and regroup as Nene as well. Choosing not to outstay his welcome versus Kenji, who does go down. This could be an opportunity potentially here, especially now that Chappie's gone down.
Yeah, well, IC doing a good job. 1v3 here, actually. Very solid to keep them all low, but Nene will eventually get that kill. Kenji coming back up and trying to get some swipes off, get some heals, gets it through the gadget in the end and gets a kill out of nowhere again. He's always so low, but finding the heals and finding the kills out of nowhere.
Well, potential here as IC on the Poco has got hypercharge, and now a super to follow up as well. Does use it aggressively. That could be a mistake here, maybe. But then again, Kenji is still in play. All 3 members of ABC standing, and now Nene too low. This should be a straightforward. Oh! One off the wall! A fumble! It is scored! But that could have gone another way. Not easy breezy from ABC, but a game nonetheless.
Definitely not easy breezy. Pretty sketchy towards the end, but for the most part, they were okay. They didn't really have to, they maybe had to fend off one attack. They had 2 pretty convincing ones, with Kenji really being the spearhead in a lot of those pushes. And he has to be. He's doing a great job of just running them down. They've put the Finks on it now, and I don't think he's going to fare any better than the Mo, to be honest.
Well, this time, Kenji on Kenji felt better of it. I quite like that.
Yeah.
You got Kenji on Kenji, got IC, got Cooking. There's a lot of ease in this match. But this time round, just choosing to play it slow. There's not that much utility. He wouldn't mind a Poco heal in the back pocket either to go super on the aggressive. So I quite like it so far. But it's very much WWL on the defense yet again.
Yeah, it just feels like he's obviously healing now, but it just feels for the most part he's playing a battle Poco. Like he's just running it as a regular brawler that doesn't have heals, and that's going to be a walk-in on his own. Lovely stuff again from ABC, who just seems to be running away with this one. We've seen WWL get out there half once.
It's definitely more sided so far, but time potentially still here It's not over yet, but one more goal will be a set for ABC. Now playing a bit of defense. Kenji needs to make some space. With potential Poco heal as well. It will be enough to be able to defend here. Right-hand side, Cookie now muted out. Perfect time from a Chappy, alleviating the situation. And that should be enough. They've got to be cautious with this Mo. There's the hypercharge, but now the high ground back with ABC.
Good position in this ball as well, just lingering in front of this front wall so Kenji can go aggressive, possibly get the backup from a Poco if he gets a super here and there with the screeching solo. Nice move as well. Chape going in, gets a kill there and follow up a couple of shots on Mameshi. And they need a goal, but every push they try and make is deflated instantly.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to be in now. That was great from Chappy. I love that. Lurking in the bushes. The hypercharge connection is onto the Mo that had hypercharge as well. Taking him out the equation. Beautiful work now. The hypercharge from IC and now the Kenji as well. Combination. And there is the goal. ABC will claim the set in what was much more convincing for me. Much less back and forth as WWL with a bit of egg on their face there.
That was a wonderful performance from ABC, it really was. WWL, as I said, I think they got out there half twice in the entire game, and both of those pushes dealt with very easily by ABC. So a wonderful performance yet again from those guys, and now only one away from meeting Zeta Division in the grand finals. And I don't think either of these teams would have thought they'd get to the semis, never mind probably go further and make the finals.
I feel like that's a fair assessment, honestly. At this stage, it could well go to a fifth. There's definitely the mechanics and the skill. The talent is with WWL, no doubt about it. But so far, ABC have been adapting every step of the way. And that was the most convincing set I feel so far in this series.
Mechanically, I really like what we're seeing from WWL. They did push it to a reverse sweep in their quarterfinal. I feel like they can make it to set 5 here as well. Kenji, on that Kenji, looked very, very strong with the Poco in the back that, yeah, as you said, was playing more of a battle Poco, not really healing him too much, but still enough for Kenji to just almost never die and get a lot of kills along the way. On the other side, Finks, I was hoping he would have a bit more impact for WWL here.
Just seemed like he didn't really have any good matchups at all, to be honest with you. Every matchup he went in, he was losing. Poco couldn't really miss against him. Kenji just ran him down with too much, HP and occasional heals from the Poco. But I do feel like Kenji was just, fending for himself, like as you just mentioned as well. As I said, the battle Poco healed him occasionally, a few good hypercharges here and there with the screeching solos, but like every member of that roster was just kind of just doing their own thing.
Yeah, it wasn't really kind of combined. It was just every man for himself. That doesn't work in Brawl. It's a team game for a reason, and yeah, it's about a bit disjointed, not really working out too well. Whereas you saw in the comp that we saw inside of ABC, good synergy with just the draft itself, but also the team mates working much more as a unit.
And Ark, it's been a huge talking point coming into today. Kenji kind of retiring last year, then coming back as a coach. And now, all of a sudden, he is standing here today and he's performing super, super well. Is he just back like he's almost never left, or do we still see him shaking off some of that rust?
I kind of feel like, regardless as to how many years pass, if you've been on the world stage and made it to the grand finals, with that just comes an exterior of steel. Like, you're able to stay composed. You're able to be a leader as well. I think that's really quite relevant here, and it's been working out. I think that everyone in Brawl can relate to the idea of, like, on the pro scene, when you're out, they love to pull you back in. That's just kind of how it goes, and Kent today might be onto a winner.
He's been playing incredibly well, to be fair. A lot of these brawlers have been his comfort brawlers, and I think that's kind of the best way to get back into esports if you've been out for a while. Play things you're comfortable with, and I think, luckily for him, the meta is definitely catering to what he likes. We've seen him playing the Mortis a heck of a lot. The Kenji there is a brawler that he would have played anyway. Listen,
I'm happy. I'm happy.
For the most part, I'm quite happy as well, because this is giving me like some serious 2020 vibes. If they take a Tara now, this would be the perfect rounded out thing I've ever seen.
Gene? That's the classic. That's the classic.
There's just few things in Brawl Stars, like what you mentioned, Ark. You can't ever really leave. Either you come back as a player, you turn into a coach like Mameshi did, or you turn into a caster. Like,
whoa. Imagine.
Why did you make that sound like the worst option?
What were you winning?
I mean, I did the same. I did the same.
Winning
So I'm here still as well. So yeah, that's just the thing that happens. And Sandy and Max is also something that we've seen ever since Brawl Stars was a thing, really. We're seeing it again here from ABC. They're not going to pair it with Jean, which was the age-old comp. They're going to pair it with the Mortis here, which I like a bit better on Double Swoosh, honestly. Max is the mid-gem carrier. Sandy would honestly work just as well. Both of those have been used at that in the past. And then a Choppy, maybe Kenji again on that Mortis to bring in the aggression. We do have a lot of answers though on the side of WWL with both the Spike and the Otis. Mortis isn't gonna have an easy race here. Lily gonna come in as last pick. Do like her in Gem Grab. I'm not sure though if it's gonna be enough. I really like to come from ABC.
It's really going to depend, in my opinion, heavily on what this Lily brings to the table. It can make a comp, it can break a comp. It's that kind of brawler. I feel especially when you're looking into the barrel of a Max, which is going to have a lot of range against you. This Mortis interaction, more often than not, with the help of the Buffy, will probably favour the Mortis, especially now with the combo spinner. So there is a reservation there. I feel like Nene's got his work cut out and has got to bring home some goods.
We're heading into the game now, and my fingers are crossed for WWL. You can be sure of that.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed for ABC. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Actually, I just want to see the best game possible. At the end of the day, my prediction being right would be nice, but so far, IC doing a good job getting a lot of this supercharge here off the Lily, who's kind of rotating back and forward and doing ABC are in a wonderful position already, but good shots from them. And WWL find a couple of kills.
Yeah, Minzun there coming in just the right time, because that was definitely going to be a perilous position to find themselves in. Great fat splatter there from the right-hand side of Cookie. And there, Kenji goes down again, not able to secure these kills. And a hypercharge, the buffied hypercharge available in this mid on the Spike. So yeah, it's not really working out too well so far for ABC, despite the gem lead.
Yeah, well, they're getting some control back now, and a surprising attack from Kenji might see him getting out here. Lily not going to be close, and he's going to pop the gadget. Countdown starts, but Kenji's got to be back safe along with the Max here as well. Otis flanking around the right-hand side, and Lily will pick up a kill, but waits the super.
Massive steal. That was pivotal now. Can WWL do something here? There's a hypercharge coming over the left-hand side. Minzun doing his best. Kenji susceptible there. A fast spot that shoving falls. Gems and drops. It's a reset. There's a chance, a real chance here of a steal. But the stun. Can Minzun make it out alive? The Max, no. Shut down. It's a scrap. But the Gems back with ABC.
I thought that Lily was going to have a gadget to get out there. He just picked up a few gems and dipped, but he couldn't quite get it done. Otis knows he needs to use his super on the Mortis to get up, but he can't use it because he needs it towards the later portions of the game. Lily coming forwards and yet again pinned in. Super's there, but he gets the kill. Kenji's getting ready to get the refrag and does. Still no gadget there for Nene. And once more, the countdown restarts.
Oh my word, Chevy did save the phase shifter until just the last moment, but it wasn't enough. He still went down. And as time goes on, surely for WWL, it only gets harder and tougher. There's a hypercharge for Nene, but he can't land it. The dashes are there. And ABC move on to match point. Only just.
To be fair, for the most part, they didn't seem like massively in control of the game. They just had a few gems here and there, and then they, managed to retrieve a couple, dropped a couple. Such a scrappy game in those back lines, reset after reset after reset. But ABC managed to hold on, putting themselves on match point, and WWL have so much to fight for, but need 2 games in a row to drag this to a set 5.
Kenji already behind the enemy lines here. Goes down very swiftly there to a popping pinkish, I believe, of Minzun. Now Chubby getting aggressed by this Lily of Nene. Sweet Dream standout, Kenji for support, but ABC got nothing on the board just yet in terms of gems.
Yeah, much better start for WWL here, and 3 members of ABC all on the right-hand side. Can't really seem to find a matchup that they like. And Kenji just dashing around the place, trying to get a super, making something happen, but he's getting shut down every time.
Nene's lurking to try to find that connection as soon as he can get a firm grasp on either Icy or Chuppy. Bit of a stalemate. No one wants to move first. A bit of a game of chicken. Nene could not get the pickup. A Chuppy there still weak, holding 2 gems, bringing everyone together for ABC to ensure his survival. Now in the mid, Minzun's on 6, now potentially 7, and got to be very cautious because there could be an attack from this right-hand side very quickly from ABC.
Yeah, waiting for the right moment to play this Sandstorm, and they still left a bit of grass over the left-hand side unattended, but now they know where they are. Nice mute coming in there from the Otis as well, but that means Kenji knows he doesn't have another. Nene going in, does find the kill, but Still, didn't get any gems back from it. Invis is once more into the realm, trying to find IC, but he just backs off.
Not sure that was actually even a body block from Kenji potentially here. Nonetheless, ABC are starting to slow down this pace, get some gems, start to work this map. The 9th gem potentially here, stolen by Kenji, but that is going to be keeping them split. He can't really go as aggressive now at this stage of the game with the gems so close together. He doesn't want to hand over anything. Now 8 over to ABC as well. Nene's lurking. We'll probably find IC, but the Sweet Dream stun is there, keeping him back. And now muted out. Everyone going the aggressive. Nene goes down though. It's Trace back and forth for the countdown with WWL.
Yeah, Kenji with a super, and I can't imagine he's going to be too far off hypercharge either. There's the 9th, but they're going to need another one now. I think it's off their side, so not too much of a risk, but Kenji got to be careful as Nani still lurks there. Misses his super, though. That's horrible from him. Nightmare and a super to follow up as well will make it a 3v2 to fight for this next gem, which they get off WWL's side.
ABC cannot leave this mid. They need to contest it still. Nene's dangerous with hypercharge, but it's missed again. A huge whiff, and ABC retreat back into the spawn side. It's down to the body blocking potential. A Chappie's low. He's got to heal. Kenji there for support. Can WWL make anything of this? No! It is going to be a grand finals appearance for ABC. Wonderfully done. What a semi-finals.
Can't ask for much more than that. A wonderful performance from ABC. And with who they've taken down today, extremely deserving of this grand finals position. But next, their biggest opponent in Zeta Division is going to be a very, very tough one. But if they win that, no one can say they didn't deserve it.
After those two semi-finals, I'm truly looking forward to what the grand final has to bring. ABC versus Zeta Division. We have one last look at the match we just witnessed. Kenji once again popping off on that Mortis, looking mighty strong. And overall, WWL at least make them work for it. It wasn't an easy gem grab match whatsoever, especially in the first set. We had like 3 resets in a row. WWL really played well. In the end, they just couldn't hold on to the gems.
Yeah, it was a real scrappy affair. You can see there the timing on the phase shift just not quite there for a Chappie. Just a little bit premature. That's what sealed his demise, but so incredibly close. I mean, it really was. I would have loved to see it go to a 5th and final set. That was the one for me that deserved to go the way, but I mean, hugely entertaining nonetheless.
We can only hope that the last one goes to set 5 then to make up for it. The grand final set 5 would be perfect. These two teams, a lot of champions going into this one as well, and I think it's going to be an absolute banger of a grand final.
I'm truly looking forward to it. Now we have Zeta Division that has played very, very aggressive today. They have shown us some double tank comps all day long, really. And then on the other side, ABC, they love their spike, their mortis. But other than the mortis, not really much aggression.
Certainly, yeah, with Kenji a little bit coming through in Brawl Wall, but the Mortis is dangerous. There's no doubt about that. You know, there's definitely a danger that Zeta have got to be prepared for. My reservation coming in for Zeta today was, you know, is it the time after the back of the downfall of their performance at the World Finals in 2025? Is it the right time to come in with a mad scientist behind the helm of those drafts today? Clearly, I am wrong. The answer definitely was yes, because their drafts have been wild, but fantastic.
And we want to have last look at our predictions as well. Once more, you can still vote over at eventofbrawlstars.com to lock in your predictions for the grand finals. I believed in WWL today. I'm sure they're going to be back next month to prove us wrong once more. We all didn't believe they would even make it through the quarterfinals. Now, yeah, as I said, they at least made ABC work hard for that win.
So what is your forfeit today, Sonny? Because looking at that, you can't actually win. You are officially our loser for today. How does it feel?
Unfortunate that we didn't really set a punishment for today.
Convenient.
We didn't introduce that
Convenient,
yet. Yeah. I mean, personally, I also feel like I don't want to just always have us all vote the same just so nobody gets punished.
Right.
Honestly.
I think it's got to be entirety of next stream, you're on mute.
I think we need to dare sometimes.
To be honest, I would vouch for you being on mute all the time.
Yeah, me too, actually.
And that doesn't surprise me.
Kenny, any opinions?
Trav mutes.
Thumbs down. You're muted as well. Sorry. Well, no more talking time for Trev. Grand finals coming up next. Zeta versus ABC. Now, the safe bet here would also just to be going for Zeta Division. How does ABC win today? What do they need?
I mean, they have got the advantage of having Kenji on this roster. Now, Kenji and Shitampo played in the same team back in 2020, 2021, and that, can really make a difference here. Being inside the mind of each other, knowing what they gravitate towards, knowing their strengths, most importantly, understanding their weaknesses. I feel like they've got to really harness that in Chappie as well. There's a lot of connections going on between these two rosters. They are very much two teams that go back a very long way here.
We have a Batman now coming in on Zeta Division, swapping rosters. Last year he was on Reject, now he has been the perfect addition to Zeta. It feels, at least they look just as oppressive as they have been looking like with Levi, who has been doing a phenomenal job last year at the side of Suzuku and Shitampo. Is Batman now even better for them, you feel?
I feel like Batman has sat in really, really nicely for me today on the side of Zeta Division. Really impressed with how he's been able to taken a pretty big responsibility, honestly, because, I haven't said it enough today, clearly, but Zeta Division's performance in World Finals was the worst I feel like we've ever really seen that roster. It was such a shock, the biggest upset for me in 2025. So at the start of the season, if you're the guy that's coming in to fix the problem, you've got to be the guy who comes in to fix the problem. And so far, he's been doing just that.
Our problem was Trev, so we also brought in a guy to fix our problem.
Yes.
We kicked Trev out, we voted him off the desk. Welcome back, Kenny.
Yeah, it's a shame. He got his prediction right, and we still booted him off the island nonetheless, the way things should be.
Yeah, see, I can do whatever I want. If my predictions are wrong, you still want to keep me, right? Right?
Want to or have to? I mean, either way, I'm okay with either way. I'm okay with either way.
You can do this on your own then. Have fun.
I mean, I'm excited. I had Zeta Division winning from the get-go. So as far as the overall picture of this region, I'm still in the running. Predictions have been out the window. But if I get first place, that seems like a pretty solid prize, especially on event.brawlstars.com. That definitely helps having them win 3 matches in a row. They have to do it still, but ABC a worthy cause too. I mean, I think they're definitely the surprise when we're looking at this grand finals, right? Zeta Division were somebody fully anticipated to come out, especially with their season last year. The history of Shitampo hasn't missed out on being that #1 seed in years, and now ABC are trying to redeem themselves and what the names used to mean in this region.
That's actually so true. I also had Zeta Division down on the website, so as long as I get my pins and icons in-game, I'm super happy with the outcome of today. We had many, many upsets. If every single monthly final this month is looking like this one here in East Asia, we're getting our money's worth, honestly. All of those teams have been playing out of their minds, and in regions where the competition always has been close, we should get even more 3-2s, because even though we had some upsets, most of them were 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, some of the results today, whatever way they work, 3-0, 3-2, regardless, the world champions have fallen. Zeta Division didn't look as strong as we expected to see at the very beginning of the day, but then have really flourished as time has gone on. And some newcomers really making a big, big statement in their debuts, and that, to me, is all good storytelling.
As mentioned before, Kenji kind of semi-retired last year, then came in as a coach for Rivals at LCQ. Rival didn't make it through the LCQ, but he still felt like Icy is going to be my teammate for next year. This guy just has that something that I want to see in my teammates. Achapi rounds off that roster, and now they made it all the way through to the final. So we talked a lot about Zeta Division, Kenny. The more surprising one of those two teams, Zeta Division was kind of obvious choice to be in the grand finals, is ABC.
I think so too, and I think what makes them notable is obviously they have a history. Achapi, a 2-time champion. He was with Tensai and with Shitampo for one of those as well. It's just so awesome to see that they had kind of a slow period. Not to say that they weren't successful per se, but LCQ is the ceiling. Achapi hasn't been back to the World Finals since being with Tensai, and now an opportunity in 2026 to take the first spot. Kenji, same exact thing, has not been to a World Finals since that separation. I want to see them prove that they are standalone names. They don't have to rely on one of the GOATs of this game. They can do it on their own.
Yeah, for me, Achapi, has just not really come back to his former glory for a long time. Not really the most success with Navi, certainly not in LCQ, and that's kind of tarnished his record. But now a real opportunity ahead of himself. Imagine having that final laugh against former teammates if they can just get this right. Achapi, Icy, Kenji, this is not going to be easy, but they've got the mechanics, there's no doubt about that, and they might just have the drafts.
Achapi and Shatampo, both of them with Brawl Championship titles. Both of them has won twice or once in the World Finals. Yet last year, 2025, didn't really look the best from either, at least in that big international stage. Shatampo, they didn't make it through day one. They dropped out immediately. A huge loss for Zeta Division and Shatampo, as we've heard in the documentary. They weren't quite happy with that performance. And the Choppy on the other side, he stepped up to be a caster. Arguably the better choice, right, guys?
I mean,
but he didn't even make it into the World Final, so they both look to redeem themselves.
It's crazy that they both, like, just, 3 months ago had different jobs. One was a caster, one was literally lined up to be a coach, and now all of a sudden, Kenji comes from flirting from retirement to now being in the grand finals. And I'd say he'd be a standout player, if not the standout player of the entire bracket so far. His Mortis gameplay has been unreal.
But that, for me, could be a little moment to unwind it for the side of Zeta. I mean, because he has been so prominent with it, it could just be easily banned. And then what? What's the backup? Kenji, on that Kenji, was great in Brawl Ball. I love that from Trav. I'm going to thank him for it later. But, you know, the Mortis is a problem. It is. So, with the help of Meshi on the side of Zeta, they can draft around this. They can develop a strategy to really underpin that particular brawler.
Zeta's still the obvious favorite in this one. As we said, Zeta was meant to be in the grand finals. We thought it would be Crazy Raccoon on their side, and Crazy Raccoon was knocked out by ABC in the quarterfinals. It was a 3-1 for them. ABC looked super strong in that one. Does that automatically qualify them to win against Zeta Division? Or is maybe Crazy Raccoon just not up to their game from Worlds last year?
In a word, no, it doesn't automatically confirm them. For me, obviously, you've got to consider the facts, and the facts were that Zeta Division last year, despite how they ended the year, did have 4 out of 6 monthly final wins. Crazy Raccoon got the first win of the season and then struggled to reclaim that crown. Well, this could be the reverse story this year. They could be struggling at the beginning and then ending strong. Last year, that was very much the opposite. They struggled until the very bitter end and still lifted the trophy. Yep, Tampo.
He heard you.
Come on, get the game out, man. Come on, draft is coming in thick and fast.
Maybe he's got a Valentine's Day message in?
Maybe.
Apply to that first.
Oh, that list is going to be long, isn't it?
Finals. I'm calling.
We got some new maps for you here as well. We're in the grand final, so of course we want to bring in some fresh wind here. Open Business is gonna be here to kick things off. Layer Cake, Death Cap Trap, Sneaky Fields, and Out in the Open. I would like to see all 5 of those maps. How likely is that, Kenny?
I think fairly. I mean, obviously ABC deserve the respect. For me, ultimately, though, Zeta Division, one of the favorites coming in here, and in a bracket of turmoil, of chaos, of upsets galore, no excuses. They got to get it right. You have to take advantage. If you are in a spot to win a grand final this early on in the season, especially with Brawl Cup on the line later down the road, go ahead and register a win. CR out of the way. Reject behind them. SKC, a team I expected to maybe not be here necessarily, but at least fight against Zeta Division, all gone. So amidst the chaos, just come out on top. Be a great way to bounce back from a 2025 loss at the World Finals, going from embarrassment to redemption. I think that would be a huge vibes check to start the year.
Redemption would be nice. They are the obvious favorites, but this region so far started out with a lot of upsets. 3 out of 4 quarterfinals were upsets. I would kind of love this story to go full circle, and we're also ending in an upset. ABC, they did win the Icebreaker. Nobody expected that from them. Even after that win, people are still saying, oh, they're probably not going to win monthly finals. You know, they're in the grand finals, really, but they're going to lose to Zeta Division. How nice would it be that they go full circle and this region is just all in the sign of upsets?
Absolutely. I mean, again, we saw in the documentary Chasing Glory. Go check it out, by the way, if you haven't already. It's really fantastic on the Brawl Esports YouTube channel, on the videos tab. We saw his confidence really exuding in that documentary. Well, now it's time to put that back into the equation.
And now we're kicking things off here with the first map. It's our first grand final of the year, of the season 2026. Let's head straight into it. We are in hot zone, open business, and we want to see some more of those buffy brawlers. That wish is granted. Two of them banned out here with Ems and Mortis from ABC and Zeta Division respectively, and then Spike and Frank already picked up. Now against the Frank, you need some damage, and you already have that with the Spike. You need some more tank counters to make sure he can't even just walk into mid with a healer in the back, because we still have a Pam open, we have Coco open. Both of those options would mean that Frank can just walk in a straight line, and it's something we've seen from Zeta Division today.
Yeah, Frank Byron definitely could be an option here. Mina gonna come in though, and I do quite like that brawler pick. The loot, it's still a bit of a question mark for me. Is it fallen off? Is it still viable? It's, for me, always good, but I feel like the pros have kind of like maybe just let it go a little bit recently.
I'm curious to see what they pair this with. It's just hyper-aggression coming out of them. Mina almost has to be the mid in this situation, I think. A lot of these drafts are revolving around Frank, the fact that Zeta Division go Frank early. ABC are going to grab Lou, who's going to be anti-freeze, going to be trying to take down these warm-hearted tanks with some icy shots. And then Spike, of course, just insane amounts of DPS, easy super feeder onto somebody like Frank. I would love to see ABC kind of round out this composition here. My only thought is that there is potential for wall break, which actually I think plays to a disadvantage as Zeta Division if Frank supers are running rampant. So I'm curious if ABC double down on that. Instead, they're just going to grab Kenji up in the faces. We know what that guy can do on the Kenji on top of that.
I love what Umesh is cooking on the side of Zeta Division. We kept talking about how they bring in 2 tanks in every single round. We talked about how maybe Poco, Pam, or Byron would have been a nice addition. Never mind. We're just bringing in 3 aggressive brawlers here on the side of Zeta Division. And we do have 2 answers on the side of ABC with the Lou and Spike. But honestly, at this point, Zeta Division might just walk in a straight line and win again.
It's definitely an option, isn't it? It really is. Certainly, I want to see how this Lou fares and whether they can really start to cycle all of these ice rings onto that zone. That's going to deter and delay the onset. So it's going to be down to a Chappie to get some good value off the back of it. But just a tempo, look how beefy he really is on that Frank, and with the shielding as well, it's going to go a long, long way.
Windbreaker going down, and that gadget going to be very vital for this roster. Lou and Spike are going to have those projectiles at their side. Super going down, make it a double. They're trying to get down Shitampo's health points as much as possible. Mina now backing away. Kaze has to lurk on this left-hand side, and Kenji going up into the sky. 1v1 interactions galore. Nonetheless, it's still Zeta Division holding on. Another gadget being popped, a kill being traded. Shitampo, the last bastion of defense for this roster. Now the red side taking full advantage here. 30% and climbing. Zeta Division with a great start.
Kenji, low HP, got to be able to evade these shots and keep his team in this mid. Now sweeping to the right-hand side lane, into the hands of Shitampo, not going to be ideal, and he will fall down here. Zeta Division approaching 70% now. Time is not on the side here of ABC. Hypercharge, Spike swoop down in the mid. Batterman, lovely windmill gadget there, just in the nick of time, but Kenji might be too much to contest with now. Shitampo still in this mid, surviving on with the help there of Suzuku. And now Zeta approaching 90%.
So aggressive, but it's working so well. Just from multiple angles, ABC are feeling a huge front of offense, climbing their way up to 100% our Zeta Division. Smooth sailing, to say the least, in game number 1.
Let's see how or if ABC will adapt to this situation. Definitely seemed quite calm on the side of Zeta. All aggression, but it was just, again, very calculated, not sloppy, and just really on point. So ABC will have to break them in other ways. Let's see, Shitampo still staying on that right-hand side. Still looking into the hands of the Lou. He seems okay with it for now. This bit, Kenji still dancing with Suzuku. He places down the first fan storm of this game. Again, Zeta playing the objective, now at 20%.
Lots of rotations going on. I think ABC recognized that they need to stick that Lou on Frank, but of course with the gadget that Mina holds, they're going to try and rotate Mina onto the Lou. And so far, Zeta Division are winning this musical lanes battle. Super available, an ice ring could go down, and that's a great way to keep enemies off the hot zone. Look how it covers the entire little center area and a little bit more. That's free reign for a Chappie, that's free percentage points, and despite his teammates possibly going down, percentage points are being built.
Yeah, and that's just directly converted into objective power. That's what I was saying coming in, that Chappie's gonna have his work cut out. He needs to cycle them in more frequently. You can already see what a difference that has made alone. ABC approaching now towards 50%, but it is now Zeta back on the zone and having something to say for this.
All three members there, and with no wall break, they can just hide behind these walls comfortably, regain health points. I mean, Shitampo is just sitting alone right now, watching his teammates put in work. Here comes a big hammer hit, though, just popping the hypercharge for extra stats. A lot of the times, pro players will be very calculated. Just because they activate hypercharge doesn't mean they're going to use super. I think, especially in this situation, they don't necessarily want to break those walls. I think that was intelligent. Maybe they didn't get the most value out of it, but it's better than wasting a super.
And it makes the most sense with a Frank. I mean, that hammer blow repetitively done with the hypercharge in play now with the help of the Buffy. It's just brutal. As is this first set, ABC cannot seem to break through whatsoever. 90% now. It's going to be a whole team wipe and a solid holding for ABC, which is just not going to happen at this rate. 100% Zeta in the first set in a very convincing fashion.
Solid showing to start things out, and from what many consider to be one of the top contenders walking into this month, they're certainly acting like it. Also, mad respect on the player cam. I never understand how Shitampo has that flexibility to be so crouched over and playing Brawl Stars at the same time, to be that talented and that flexible. Athlete, just an athlete.
Lots of yoga as well. You know, I certainly wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not cut out for that at all. My back is as good as my neck these days, and I'll tell you, my neck is not great. So, for Zeta, again, they just look calm. They're chilling, they're happy, they're smiling, as this region tends to do generally, but I would safely say that for ABC, you know, they're going to be a bit more nervous. They haven't been in this spot for quite some time, whereas for Zeta, they were here time and time again last season. This is their bread and butter. And I said coming in, I need to see what this Lou was going to bring. And Chappie didn't really bring much in terms of kills. That's safe to say. Not enough ice drinks, and especially against brawlers like a Frank, you know, you should be able to cycle a bit more convincingly, and that just turned in against the objective for them.
Zeta Division strike me as unfazed, and I think this stat line kind of backs it up too. I mean, 7 kills on Batman alone, 7 kills entirely on the other side for ABC. It was not close. A battling and a brutal beatdown coming in that first set. I just need to see ABC step up a little bit more there. Obviously, the expectation wasn't even necessarily for them to make it at this point. Even if they got swept 3-0, it would hurt in the moment, but I think if you asked them before the monthly finals, would you take making it there? Grand finals sounds pretty good to them, I'm sure. Zeta Division certainly meeting my expectations. I don't expect it to be that dominant the whole way through, but if that's a telltale sign of how things are going to go the rest of the day, I think Zeta are poised for greatness.
Yeah, I mean, if it is that easy, then it is that easy. I think that ABC, though, have got so much credentials to their roster that they should be able to come back together and at least give it a bit more back and forth. I think that did come down a little bit more to draft, and we said coming in that Zeta Division having Memeshi now at the helm when it comes to those drafts and brawler picks. It's been making a big difference here today. It really has for me from what I've seen. So can they continuously keep this up? That is the question. Or will ABC just not take this lying down?
I would say Zeta Division in recent couple years that this roster's kind of essentially been together, at least 2 of the 3 core members, right? They've always been an aggressive team. This is a whole nother level of tripling down on aggro brawlers or tanks. I mean, they didn't have a traditional mid in that. Mina was their mid, which I think is viable. I think it's fine because it's such a great brawler, but I think it just goes to show they're unafraid to just roll with what they're confident in. It's a combination of good brawlers, but also fits their play style. And I think Memeshi is just fully embracing that. I think it's a good thing. You want to play to your team's strengths while also making sure that ABC can't get what they're comfortable with, and I think they're doing a fantastic tandem of both.
Speaking of that very thing, you saw just how many kills Ken G had in that first set. I mean, he couldn't really do more, to be completely honest. So, you know, I hope that he keeps that up, but I also hope that his teammates kind of join him in that regard to bring something to the table here, because Zeta Division are an absolute beast in this region. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They didn't end 2025 nearly as strongly as they looked throughout the main regular season of play in 2025. This was the #1 seed that absolutely battered all their opposition throughout the monthly finals, and looking like they are back on top so far, but there's still plenty of time for upsets, of which we've had many here today.
Zeta Division yet to bleed. I think that's something that ABC need to show, that these guys are good, but they're beatable. After all, we have a double world champion on our side. We have somebody that played alongside Shitampo and was right there at one point in time. The upside is there for ABC. The draft has to be perfect, though. You saw, even with what triple aggro could look like, Zeta Division can still thrive. ABC just have to be strategical. They have to play perfect. That's a high bar to set, but this is the grand finals after all. If you want to win, you have to have a special day.
absolutely layer cake. Next map. Zeta Division taking their Mortis away from ABC, as we know. Kenji would have loved to have got his hands on it. So the question is, how do they play around it and how do they counter out? Is their answer for it. Certainly on this kind of map, there's definitely still options for me. I wouldn't mind necessarily a Grape, would be the worst of ideas to consider here. But the bans being the Ali, the Shade, the Rico, the Spike, the Ems, and the Mina as well. Tanky Brawlers, I think there's still a place for something like Frank, honestly. I think that having that and just running down, beelining towards your opposition's spawn side could very much be a good strategy just to herd them into the corner.
My opening thought is it's Jean who does poke damage, Cord who doesn't do an insane amount of damage and doesn't have range. Cord's a great one-on-one matchup, but I feel like, yeah, Colonel Ruffs or Gus or something as like a little extra range, and you're also beefing up your brawlers either through a shield, which would have been Gus, or through Colonel Ruffs. You have field promotion as a possibility, and the longer you sit next to Colonel Ruffs when he's running that star power, you passively gain overall health points until you die. The only thing scarier than Mortis is a beefed up Mortis, extra HP, and if they really wanted to get frisky, if Mortis gets takedowns, he has a star power possibility where he can gain additional health points as well. This could get terrifying, and now they add Pierce, a borderline #1 brawler in the game, to this equation. This is a great start for Zeta Division.
Yeah, it's a very tasty comp so far, not gonna lie. And ABC just double down on these kind of limited range ideas. Certainly Lily can be very aggressive, but Ruffs does have sandbags, and Pierce as well, if the shells are kind of scattered on the map, can have that defensive maneuvering. I just kind of wonder like how ABC are going to kind of make this comp work. Going to be, I assume, depending a great deal on the healing puffs of Jean and just kind of holding fort together as a unit. But Zeta Division have just got a much more rounded idea. They've got the range, they've got something that over time is only going to enhance their comp. And the Mortis, that's the kind of weak link potentially here. I mean, but since the buffies, it's much easier to make Mortis work.
Zeta Division with a flare of aggression in Mortis, but completely switching up what we saw in game #1. Colonel, Ruffs, and Pierce, certainly more control options, but this one relies entirely on Lily, in my opinion. If she's not popping off, ABC don't stand a chance. So the fact that they grab Blue Star to switch to their side and a couple kills early on is huge for them.
Well, Lily on the right-hand side, found out. Shitambo has to be cautious here. Can't overextend. Batman starting to make a flank on this top left-hand side. Kenji is the key man here with 4 stars and that blue. If Zeta can find him, they'll be able to come back with some serious goods. They have split across the map. And Shappy now separated and very much vulnerable. Gets taken care of. 9 stars, now 11 to ABC. They're on fire right now.
Not a fair trade. I mean, Kenji as the blue star carrier doesn't really have to push the enemies. He can wait on defense, and I think Jean says the same thing. Great gadget choice. Look at that 1-2 punch. They go for a stun of the Cordelia's gadget along with the magic hand to pull in the enemies. This is excellent work. Now a gadget to disappear from Lily. Perfect execution so far from ABC. This is unbelievable considering what we saw just 1 set ago.
Yes, they just don't look in sync with each other whatsoever. Shitambo's so low, they're surprised that that didn't avail to the takedown, but nonetheless, Lily goes in, but look at that. Batman finds the pickup. Now there's only 2 stars in it. Zeta brought us back in a tremendous way, and the stars now really much more towards their favor. They've got time as well on their side. They can find 2. They've got the blue. It would be enough to make a steal.
Pierce's super will push them back as well, so with 25 seconds on the clock, it's going to be the red roster on the back heel. That's not where they want to be. They're going to feed a hypercharge over to this Mortis. Shitampo with 3 on his noggin has to get in their faces. They have no other choice, and with the countdown going, he's getting a hyper super. Now Jean will try to match. The pull goes through. Oh, but he collects too many brawlers. Suzuki steps back with Blue Star on their side. They're trying to run for the hills. Lily dives in, though. Perfect precision, backing off. Shadow Realm to disengage the Mortis. Beautifully done. ABC, while it was a close call in those final moments, just clutch.
It takes a very, very calm head to look down the barrel of a Mortis with hypercharge in a meta of buffies when the stars depend upon your survival. That was honestly very well fared by ABC to come out on top, because I did not have many hopes for them in that regard. They started off so strong, so explosive. Zeta took definitely a lot of time before they started to cook here, so I'm looking to see how Zeta will start to make a bit of a different mark on this set.
No kills quite yet. Each side just working for positioning, utility. The more supers they have in their pocket, the easier it is to grab kills. Lily, of course, doing her work early on. Having a Shadow Realm accessibility through super or gadget makes her a deadly damage dealer. Now she's looking for a connection just off. Mortis, of course, without mobility, can just swipe away with a regular attack and get out of it easily.
Yeah, really nice there from Shitambo. Nice dodge. Now earns super as well, but muted out. That could have been dangerous. Oh, very close stuff. Zeta now pushing themselves back into the small side with 3 stars and the blue. It's getting quite tense as Icy looking to spot the opportunity on this right-hand side. Great Pierce, slow there into the mid as well. A Chappie forced back, but has got Magic Hand. If that connects, it should have been able to kill the help of the Lily.
ABC are doing their best to corral Zeta Division, but of course Shitampo can dash across the map. A dive in from Lily, immediate Shadow Realm, about half HP, poke damage coming out of a Chappie. Shitampo though smells blood in the water, knows he has a kill lined up, and it's still 0 stars for ABC.
I'm loving how Shitampo is playing this Mortis on defense. Not outstaying his welcome, trying to come in at just the right times, but look at a Chappie. If this Magic Hand hits, it could be enough. And with a 3 versus 2, more stars could fall after it. But look at this, separating yet again. A Chappie from the herd. Hypercharge miss from IC. That is devastating. And taps from Bannerman could seal his demise, and they do. Zeta on 7, 0, nothing to say from ABC.
With Lily gone from the equation, that had to be a win there. Lily needs to take down these squishier brawlers, but that hypercharge is something that might cost them this game, number 1. Now a flank on the right-hand side, another super available, but not enough for redemption. Plenty of stars left for Zeta Division as Shitampo will run to the top right-hand side. They righted the wrongs of the previous game. That was a much better performance out of them.
Again, adaptations. That is going to be the word that I feel like I'm going to be saying a lot in 2026. The ability to adapt on the fly, especially when you look at how convincing that first game really was in favor of ABC, to now be looking in this spot 1 game away from being 2 sets up because of just slowing down the pace, communicating more effectively, not taking chances. Now ABC a little bit on the back foot. Icy repositioning himself from that Lily pick on the left-hand side now. Are Zeta aware of it? That's the question.
I don't think they are. Suzuki's been kind of tiptoeing his way around this to try and not feed a super. He did early on, but I think they're aware. Shitampo's trying to hover around this wall. I think just trying to bait something out, but Icy, not moving a muscle, has a super available, so Mortis will take a trade. There's some serious mind games going down. Yeah,
that's feeding this hypercharge as well. Now Shitampo, yeah, exactly where you're gonna go now, buddy. Has to dash away just in the nick of time, but he will get tapped up a lot by a Chappie, and Kenji trying to make good on this right-hand side to pick up the scraps. Has now the round, forced Suzuki into it, but then chooses to come back, regroup, and push together as a squad.
Significantly more neutral in game number 3. We've seen all sides of the coin here in this bounty set. No kills so far, though. Blue Star is the only thing giving Shitampo and his teammates a lead. Red roster still pressing them, though. They're trying to branch out. I think they know if they get caught in their spawn, Pierce, Ruffs don't nearly have the ability as if they were in open space.
Lily hypercharge could be used in this map specifically to bounce off the wall, to connect with whoever it is that you're looking to isolate from the squad. And if you can do that and make it someone in the realm, then it's 2 versus 2. Here we go. It finds Suzuku. Low gets taken care of. 2 for ABC to the 1 of Zeta. Zeta now going on the aggressive. 20 seconds left on the clock, but not much utility. Shitampo can't really do much. He needs to have something.
Suzuki back in action. Colonel Ruffs, not a top fragger that you need in moments like this. They're going to have to rely on Shitampo to get up in the faces of ABC. All 3 members, though, standing tall, rotating to the right-hand side. Zeta Division have to chase them down. 1 star being the separator, a dive in, Lily underground, and all safe and sound. ABC have tied it up.
That was not an easy game at all for ABC. So much pressure. I can't express enough how hard it is to come back when you're 2 sets down. So keeping things afloat, I would say, under an enormous amount of pressure. You've got to give ABC credit for that, no matter what happens next. But Zeta certainly will be looking back at that and seeing it as a missed opportunity. I feel like going in that final game, they could have done and made a bit more of it. That second game, for me, was really where they shone and just forced the hand more on ABC. I think ABC had just too much map control that game. Like you mentioned, mind games galore with that Cordelia's pick and the Lily as well. And that's kind of, for me, what helped out, just feeding into Icy time and time again. He had hypercharge more often than not.
Invisibility is such a powerful tool in this game. And simply 1 Shadow Realm gadget out of Lily puts Zeta Division in a perplexing situation. They have to send Mortis out. Oh, where did she go? And at the same time, you could see Lily just not moving a muscle and charging a hypercharge. And that is devastating. You can see it in the kill count too. Lily being good in that set made all the difference.
It was super well played for both of those teams. It looked like Zeta Division was able to turn things around in that game number 2, but this is actually the first time they've lost today. They run through 3-0 every single time they faced against one of their East Asian teams. Their opponents 3-0 in the end. Now this is gonna be the first game they lose of the day. ABC might be able to turn this one around and turn it into their favor. And once again, how nice would it be to have an upset to end the day with?
Absolutely so. I mean, I think for Zeta, I would kind of feel for them if that were the case, because I feel like they could just use a bit of a break, especially because we've been so hard on them, but rightly so because we say it how it is here, right? But for ABC, I think that would be like certainly the more interesting storyline if that were to be the case. I think for Zeta, a redemption story if they were able to go all the way as well. So either way, it's kind of a win-win for us here on the desk, is kind of why we love to be in the position that we are in. But for ABC, I think it says a great deal more in regards to how they're keeping their cool, because Zeta should be doing that more often than not. For ABC, it's been a long while since being in the spot.
I just like how this day is shaping up. We started off with 2 3-0s right out of the gate, and now we had so many 3-1s at least. We're heading into map number 3. It's not going to be our last one either way. It's just 1-1, so everything's still open. We're heading over to Death Cap Trap. I love this map. It's one of the newer ones in the game, but I feel like you can play literally anything on here. Gus, probably the best gem carrier on the map, would actually be left open here. I'm looking forward to also some Rico or Ruffs maybe. They can use the walls in this map pretty well, such as Shade as well. He's going to be having a field day with all of these walls. Zeta Division once again with Mortis. Kenny, that looks a bit dangerous for ABC. I'm surprised he's actually not banned out.
Yeah, Tara going to come in here too. Mortis is certainly one that could have made the ban stage. Shade is a first overall pick. Not necessarily surprising. I feel like this is one of the maps he shows up the most actually in our pro scene. No Ims, no Spike. So we're going to have to get a little more creative in terms of the side lane damage dealer type brawlers. And I think that's where Tara comes in. I think she's in a comfortable spot. If you really want Tara, you can grab her. She's not really going to be banned in Gym Grab these days. But a big reason she's going to show up is kind of as a little bit of an anti-tank. Vision as well, depending on the gadget you're running. But on top of that, the super, and especially the hypercharged one, can shift an entire match. It's one of those brawlers similar to Lily like we saw in the last one. If you use a hypercharged super, you can steal gems, disappear. You don't even be winning the entire game. You just have to walk away.
Speaking of Lily, it could be on the cards here potentially. It's the kind of perfect map for it to play those mind games and just continue to lurk within those back lines. Especially if you're low, you can't really go back then without kind of just second-guessing yourself and having to double-check everything along the way. So Shelly, though, going to come in for ABC. It is that hard answer to the Mortis. I quite like it.
Apart from the Shade, this draft just puts me back into 2021, 2022 Brawl Stars. We have Sandy and Tara on the map. They've been super strong back then. We haven't seen them in a while. I wonder if Tara's going to show up as often also in other regions, or if it's going to be our East Asia special for this month. Shelly, obviously, back in the meta because of the Buffy. But yeah, Sandy and Tara are 2 brawlers for me that, honestly, I did not see coming into today. At least not as often as they've been picked up in reality. Stu, one of the first drawings, if not the first of the day. Obviously also quite a mobile brawler. Zeta Division once again with that double tank or double aggression with the Terra. And Stu, a very good pick here for a gem carrier, Kenny.
Stu not at the top of my list, at least in notoriety for this current meta, but I do think it's a worthwhile shout. I think it's something that Zeta Division over the years are very comfortable with, especially with the mechanical prowess that they show. That's one that I imagine they'll utilize quite well.
Speed Zone, I think, would be my preferred gadget for sure. Just have everyone with more options to maneuver in that mid, especially the Mortis and the Tara. They're a long, long way here. We're going to wall break, going to open up their entire right-hand side, so no Speed Zone. Let's see how that fares for Suzuki, really. If they can keep that wall there, it would be quite helpful. Now they're kind of pushing back forwards with Icy on this left-hand side. Suzuki now pinched out. Yeah, that's not great.
The more wall break they can get, the easier it is into somebody like Shade. The less advantage he can take. Sure, he can still dash forward at you with that shield, but of course, piercing through walls is really where Shade shines. Ooh, a massive pull right there. Doesn't really get any kills and gets shut down as well. Kenji popping off on the top-hand side. Looking for another takedown as Batman has to move all the way to the bottom of this map. Zeta Division have lost any leverage they had in the middle.
Yeah, Batman now in a tough spot because he's chosen to shoot and not heal, and obviously trying to evade that radius of the Shade to feed the super head. He was that close away from it too. Great work from Suzuki there, being very astute.
The good news is Mortis isn't carrying a single gym. On the other hand, Shelly can't defend herself, but I think ideally you want somebody like Sandy probably carrying those. Now takedown there. Shitampo skating up and down the map. Shade with a hypercharge, but erased instantly. And with 12 seconds to go, not a brawler in sight. Kenji has to pop this hypercharge out of just desperation at this moment. Mortis going to be playing bodyguard, doesn't mind going down, just trying to buy time for the teammates to rotate all the way to the bottom. One big butt blast could have made the difference, but unfortunately just a second too late.
Yeah, 2,500 HP, that's a decent amount. Could have been a lot closer though, just even half a second there, and we may have seen a bit of a different outcome. And with all three members of ABC, that could have been quite disastrous for Zeta, but for the most part, I mean, really quite calculated in that last game. I mean, Shitampo really is the man to cater the map towards the comp here, and that really deflated what Icy brings to the table.
Shitampo instantly breaking a wall as well, so Shade has to back off. He's either sitting in the middle of the map where Stu can get easy shots, cycle in those supers, and that's something you don't want to see. And right now, Shitampo's just getting his way. Shade hasn't really found his footing on this map yet. I think especially when you draft him early on, Shade is a great brawler, but it's something that can certainly be countered. Something as simple as wall break obviously makes a difference.
Well, vision out, the Batman, so a lot of information on which Suzuki can capitalize on. 3 gems drop now with the help of that Shitampo takedown of Kenji, but no one is going for them just yet. Icy has escaped into the back lines now, and that means that Shitampo just can't come back as easily as that. He's going to find the pinch between himself and Batman. On the top side, there is still action going down, and Chappie falls. And now Kenji, with 3 gems, really aggressive on that right-hand side.
Shade up in the face of Tara. That's a win for Shade. Mortis on the other side, though, doing quite the opposite. It's a back and forth. All the gems spilling off screen, though. Batman barely connecting with that hypercharge. Can't illustrate enough how big of a connection that is. That keeps Zeta Division in this game. If they got away with the gems, would have been terrible. Instead, it's Suzuku making magic happen. Now 10 gems in the pocket of Zeta Division. Shitampo can afford to play defense with the 6th one being scooped by Suzuku. Hypercharge across the map in the blink of an eye. A Choppy can't close the distance. Tara super doesn't connect, does not matter. Zeta Division crushing this set will take the lead in the match.
You can just see the confidence there exuding towards the end. Couple of pins from Shitampo. The mechanics back it up, and that is the key here. That was a really convincing set. Suzuki with that Mortis, wonderful stuff. Beautiful hypercharge on that return as well, following up with another gadget, the combo spinner, everything laid into that Shelly. Not a thing that ABC could do about it. Now it could be that Zeta Division just go all the way and seal it in the next.
Brilliant bounce back from Zeta Division, especially in a set where it wasn't the best showing for them. Obviously, it was the worst set they had all day. It's the only one they've lost after all. But nonetheless, love that they put that behind them. Did a draft that worked into the enemy composition. I think played to the strengths of them as players. Shitampo on that Stu was certainly one to watch for me. I think the wall break with the Stu was a creative solution into something like the first pick Shade.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. I want to see those stats now, because Mortis has been the most picked up brawler with the best win rate across the board in scrims. I was so surprised to see him not banned out by ABC, yet still they pick up Shade as first pick. And as we see here, I don't really think that Shade first pick was actually warranted.
I felt like they were just kind of drafting what each other were kind of thinking. Just like, I mean, Shade is predominantly a very Zeta brawler pick, and it could just simply be that idea of like, well, we know that we're kind of scared to play into it, so let's just kind of take it off the table and then see what happens. But you can't play that way in draft. You've got to have an answer for everything in the strategy, a firm strategy going in. If you're playing catch-up, it's only ever going to go one way.
Not only the Mortis played out super well here for Zeta Division, also Stu, that we didn't really see coming, had the most DPS actually. It's not something that we usually see on a Stu because his reload speed is quite slow. We usually say, oh, he's not that good into tanks, he doesn't do that much damage. But despite him being the gem carrier, he did a lot. He pulled a lot of weight in this game.
Yeah, I think in terms of matchups, this was a much better thing instead of something like a Frank where it's a super feeder. But to your point, even if Stu uses a full magazine, what is he doing? A third of Frank's HP? So I think this was a spot where he could shine. The other side didn't have too many high health pool brawlers. So if you're going to pull out a Stu, which we rarely see in this current meta, I think that was an excellent time to pull that decision off.
I want to see some more of those surprising brawler. We're basically through the day. We're on the last match of the day in the grand finals, and yet still we're seeing some brawlers that we have not seen just yet. We're heading over to our potentially last map now. It's Sneaky Fields, and if Zeta Division takes this one, sadly the day is over. It's fortunately not the last of this monthly final, of the February monthly finals overall, but the loss of East Asia. And Sneaky Fields used to be very Rico heavy, Rosa. Which of those brawlers do we still see today, Ark?
I would say that actually, to be honest, well, certainly not the Rico because it's banned, but for me, it's all about the tanks on this map, really. I mean, that's kind of where things lie. Poco's open here. That combination is just going to be devastating to shut down. Mortis still open. ABC will snap it up. Mina here as well. I think that windmill gadget is just so suppressive, but also that ability to maneuver around. It's going to do a lot here.
I'm going to call it out early in case either of these sides elect to do it, but Bull is a brawler that's shown up quite a bit on this map in particular, and I think having a shotgun brawler with great mobility is a good answer into either Frank or Mortis. I could see them trying to remove that from the equation, but there's also anti-tank brawlers you have to be aware of. Obviously, Spike and Im's gone. Otis, one of those popular ones. Shelly banned as well, so I think tanks are going to have a green light here for the most part.
Otis, Cornelius, and Charlie are those brawlers that we've seen quite often today as the tank counters. I could see it on both of those sides. Charlie also especially good into the Mortis. Makes a lot of sense to me now that ABC pick up the Mortis after deciding to go with Shade instead in the previous map. Shade itself, though, would also still be a very good pick here. And Zeta Division, so far, again, they have picked up a lot of double tanks or double assassins in their comp, so I kind of do expect them to go with another one here.
I wouldn't mind the Willow, honestly. I mean, it's certainly a great answer to tanks and, can just whittle down, keep that visibility most importantly on the map. Like, there's so much push, that poison will really give a helping hand of information and the mind control to defend. That's kind of where mine's at here, but Cornelius is a great response to be able to eradicate the Mortis and just really cause an issue with that. And again, more information gathered. That radius that Cornelius has, you can relay that onto your teammates to get some idea as to where someone could be lying in wait.
I think Pierce is going to be a solid mid option for them as well. Grabbing one of the best brawlers in the game as your final selection, not a bad beat. Obviously going to be able to outrange Poco. The question is, are ABC going to be able to equip themselves with a brawler that boosts even more health points? Because where Poco shines is he can distribute that bubble with the hypercharge, he can heal you. So if you've got enough health points to go around and not enough damage output on the other side to match, you can really just run away with it.
No double tank on the side of Zeta Division. We have a bit of everything now with the Pierce coming in mid and then Cornelius to deal with Mortis. Really like that come from Zeta. Now question is this going to be the last map of today of the February monthly finals, or can ABC prolong this match a bit longer with a Nita last pick?
It's not the craziest of things, it's not the flashiest for sure, but I mean, Pierce, especially against Bruce with shielding, it does take a lot of time to whittle down. I think the question really for me is, can ABC really cycle these Bruce Bears enough to warrant the pick? The Poco as well, it will allow Nick to be a bit more aggressive to go on the offensive to be able to earn that utility. I just kind of feel like Zeta are playing what is present at the moment. The Buffy's Brawlers, the Franks, the Pierces, it just for me says potentially a winning comp.
Been a long off-season for Zeta Division. Last time we saw them in 2025, it was a season of embarrassment. Now in a grand finals back on their home turf, they need to step up and take advantage. This is a great start in set 3. Look at the chemistry going down. A super pass forward, the assist, and a knockdown into the net. Early lead for Zeta Division.
That is a fantastic way to kick things off. Tampo, not going to really stick it into much there. Trying to find Kenji, but such a tough ask here. As he's just being danced around. Batman's low. As this Tampo, everyone on Zeta's side knows that it's best to pocket the ball and fight for another day.
In terms of wall control too, it's Zeta Division that control it, so that four-pronged wall on that bottom left-hand side is a perfect way to castle that ball. It's going to be very difficult for ABC to grab this. Zeta Division can just rotate in brawlers. They're really going to be the ones determining when that comes out. Kenji, though, doing his best to make a play. Oh, a complete whiff with that super, though. That's probably the first time we've seen a bad Mortis play out of the man today.
I love the way that Zeta have just shaped the map and blown things wide open, because now Pierce can get so much more value. Those little shells that you're picking up are not going to be able to really find brawlers in the bush. That ult connect is not really going to be there and present, so the more of the map that Zeta can break, the better the Batman's chances of being able to survive are going to be.
Oh, this is brutal. I mean, Zeta Division, it's just a fire sale of frags, getting all the kills they want, having their way. The ball not even moved an inch. They're just worried about map control at this point. They're already up 1-0. This is a very defensive stance. They have to be careful. This is where the defense counts. They have a hypercharged super available for Cornelius. That ball, though, has not moved in about a minute. The only way they're going to grab it is if they find some frags. Suzuki dragging one down. That is not the start that ABC need. 2v2 situation. Hypercharge going down. Bats being cycled. Now a 2v1. Batman all alone. Kenji can dash forward in a choppy. Can walk this one in. Great response out of ABC. They were patient. They were calm. And they finally matched.
Yeah, Kenji did fantastically well there. He already took the right moment to shine. Can Zeta respond now? It's going to be tough to make this need to work in an overtime position, which effectively we're kind of already in with the way the map is situated. Batman has got to keep on tapping. Tambo's still healing, but with the ball, he's really victimized by the Mortis. Now the hypercharge for Chappie at a key moment. Kenji low. Batman gets a very important pick up there. And IC can't really do much now to just continue to tap, trying to get a boost for overtime.
The fourth brawler on the map is giving Batman fits right now. He has to run the way. They have to leave the ball as a result. Chitampo is either going to be dribbling this ball or doing his best to keep up with the distance. He's just so outranged.
Tampo pops the hypercharge, goes down, so a bit of a waste there, but Batman with super shots finds the pockets. That is crucial. It puts Zeta in a match point position.
One away. Been a long wait. Zeta Division, a catastrophe at the World Finals. Now looking to prove they're worth it. Batman trying to prove his worth to one of the biggest organizations in all of Brawl Star, one with a lot of history. Chitampo left behind in the GOAT conversation to old adversary Tensai. He left the team just a year ago, and now he's trying to prove he can get back on top. Chitampo sliding one in, and once again, Zeta take an early lead.
A speed run, a goal in the first 10 seconds. That's crazy. Zeta are absolutely cooking now. ABC have got to find a response. Kenji doing his very best, cycling, beautifully done. And maybe a moment here, a chance. As IC fumbles the ball a little bit, there should be enough time for an easy walk-in. And a good response in 20 seconds of that previous goal.
Great job on ABC to be unwavering, to still continue with the plan. Zeta Division still have their work cut out for them. Kenji now going right at Batman's face.
Oh.
They get a push away with the gadget, and now that's going to drag him down to the Shadow Realm. Kenji can't do a thing, just has to retreat for now. 580 HP, but Suzuki still on the prowl. ABC, all the red members standing tall, and Kenji trying to put himself in a spot where he can get an assist. Instead, it's going to be ABC, just maintaining positioning. They're not pushing it. As long as they have ball control, they have an advantage.
Tampa there having that hypercharge was really such an important moment and just really utilizing that wall. Now going on the aggressive. That was a very important hit for Chappie, just keeps him alive as the Korean super shot available for Tampo, and it's there! Zeta Division ended 2025 in doom and gloom, but it's a new year, new Zeta, and they are your champions for February.
Unbelievable performance out of Zeta Division. An embarrassment on the world stage. Expectations changes reality. It's just part of it. But they return home hungry, bloodthirsty, certainly on a warpath to start things out. And the poor suckers of ABC just happen to be the victim standing in their way.
Unbelievable. I mean, when you look at the questions we had coming in, was Batman going to be the person to solve Zeta's problems? Were Crazy Raccoon still going to be on top? So many storylines today, but for Zeta, I think this was the most important day to get it right.
I just said, Ark, it's a new Zeta Division, but still the same old story. They're winning a monthly final. We had so many upsets today, but in the end, Zeta Division makes sure that they still prove that history can repeat itself. And we can at least be right with one of our predictions today, just on a side note. But yeah, super well played by both of those teams. ABC did have some great games and even took a set off the hands of Zeta Division, the only one today, by the way. But yeah, Zeta Division in the end takes it. Is it deserved?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think without a doubt. I think they walked in here and did exactly what teams would hope they would do, especially off of, you know, what's probably some bitter emotions and a long wait in this offseason. That's several months of Chitampo just stirring, waiting to prove himself again. And I'm already scared of Chitampo if I'm any player in this universe, but an angry Chitampo, a motivated Chitampo, that is somebody I don't want to face down.
He's a very confident player, and I think we saw that today as well. They seemed also to be very relaxed all day long. We saw them smiling, playing around, like, oh, good job. It looked like they're having a lot of fun. And I think that's key, because after all, Brawl Stars is a game, right?
I mean, it would be not a game to not have fun, wouldn't it? That's the thing. But for East Asia, that's what makes them so dangerous specifically. Because there's nothing worse than being from another region in the world stage, looking at your opposition, when you are one game away from taking it and having them be smiling back at you just like, you don't know what's coming. That's what we see in East Asia all the time. They smile when they are behind, and that's when they're most dangerous.
And Kenny, we did discuss coming into today how Betterman is now coming onto that roster. He fits right in, it seems. The communication is great. They had some good pinches. I feel like we really see the team play there. Is this state television better than the one in 2025 with Levy?
That's quick.
I'm not ready to pull the trigger on that by any means, to be honest with you. Look, it's 1 month at a time. Obviously, Batman is not a problem because the solution they got today was a Grand Finals win, first one of the year. I think he obviously did great, but Zeta Division won a lot of monthly finals last year, and I know Worlds didn't go their way, but I still felt confident that they were going to be able to get a W here today. I still felt like coming into the season, they were going to be the preseason #1. Weird stuff happens in the regular season. For whatever reason, teams like CR struggle. I think there's a few rosters here that are definitely disappointed by the day, but one thing to take away from this is Zeta Division consistent like last year, but there are plenty of new blood in this region. That's exciting.
I would love to run some simulations sometimes in Brawl where we have SK from 2021 face off against Crazy Raccoon from 25, or even, Zeta Division 25 versus Zeta Division 26. We will see how this team develops, but so far it seems like Betterman fits right in, and Levy on the other side on Reject. I felt like they had some great showings, but they obviously did not make it out of the quarterfinals. We'll see how that's going to go for them later on.
Yeah, certainly for Reject, definitely a tough day for sure, and players that we thoroughly expected to make it at the very least into the semi-finals. So certainly a lot to be working on, and to come back next month, more pressure on their shoulders to really show us what they're made of. But again, for me, this has been a fantastic start to the season. A real idea as to what we can expect, and that seems to be the unexpected, because Brawlers drafts is kind of all blown wide open, and teams that we thoroughly expected to see, at least in those semis, not making it out of the quarters. That's a scary prospect.
We've seen many upsets today. That's certainly been surprising, but what has been the most shocking to you, Kenny, today?
I guess in terms of shocking, I would frame it as the biggest disappointment to me has to be between CR and Reject. If you're Reject, they were so comfortably in a 2-0 lead. You get a trade in Levi, and then to drop the ball there, I mean, that certainly puts a damper on things. The biggest winner, obviously Zeta Division, because they won, but even more importantly to me, Zeta Division won on a month where Reject, Crazy Raccoon, and SKC all lost in the first round. Not only do they have a lead, they have a sizable distance to now cover in a couple months leading to Brawl Cup. This is the dream start for Zeta.
That is actually so true. In terms of points, Zeta Division is going to have a huge lead now. We're going to see that in the leaderboard as well, as this just reflects pretty much today. Of course, it's going to shape up a bit more in the coming months. This is pretty much just, February monthly finals, right? Zeta Division at the top there. They've showed us a lot of very aggressive comps. Memeshi now as their coach. We've also seen 3 Buffy Brawlers being the most picked today across the board. It was Frank, Mortis, and Spike. Kenny loves that. Sorry.
I'm unsurprised. I mean, I think if we came into the day, I think all of us would have safely said, aside from the band stage where brawlers like M's get in the equation, I guarantee you, I wouldn't be surprised if, even if you included bans and plays, that Spike, probably Frank, and then maybe M's or Mina are those top brawlers, and 3 or 4 of those that I just said are Buffy brawlers. We saw a ton of Mortis. I mean, Buffy's clearly here to stay in our current meta.
I really wonder, Ark, though, if we're going to see the same exact picture tomorrow, or if that was Zeta Division also just picking up a lot of Frank and Mortis, and obviously we've seen the most of Zeta Division today.
Yeah, looking ahead to EMEA, I felt like we didn't see enough Poco for me. I think that's the brawler we're going to see a lot more of coming in tomorrow, because they are really banning it a lot. That could be a reason not to see it, in fact, actually. But there's going to be a little few nuances along the way, which are going to be similar. In EMEA, I think we're going to see as well some different flavors coming in, but for the most part, these 2 regions are relatively similar in terms of meta.
So yes, don't be sad. Yes, East Asia monthly final is over, but we still have a lot more Brawl Stars for you tomorrow. You just saw it on your screens. We're heading to EMEA. And yes, I hope we get to see some more brawlers than just those 3 Buffy brawlers. We did see some little spices with the Stu, with the Rico, but yeah, I'm super excited for tomorrow. I hope you are too, and I hope you tune in again. Make sure to do so. Also, lock in your predictions on event.brawlstars.com.